Yo, everyone, what's up? Welcome to Fun Speculation. My name is Mav, and we are going to be co-streaming Xbox Dev Direct 2024. This channel is all about fun speculation. However, today is a little different because today, instead of speculation, we get answers. We actually get answers. We're going to have some potential release dates. We're going to get glimpses of games. We're going to be able to see Indiana Jones for the first time. We're going to see more about Avowed, Hellblade 2, and also Ara History Untold. And maybe, just maybe, there's another surprise out there as well. Some smoke out there about that potential. And we got an awesome group here. And I think Psycho should be joining us a little bit later as well when he gets off work. So we're going to have a blast hanging out. But had to send a bat signal out to PTK Blam because, you know, he's family. I remember I was on a show on Saturday and he was like, he said he was going to be free. So I was like, hey, dude, come on by and watch the developer direct with us. He was like, sure, let's do this thing. So he's here. What's up, PTK? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. It feels good to be here. I don't get to do this a lot, man. So when I
Yeah.
do, it feels special. It's always special to see my family. What's up, chat? What's up, Jasper? Steele? Always
Oh,
glad to be on the show, man. But I appreciate it, man. We starting the year off with a banger, man. I don't need none of that bad energy. Get that crap away from me. I
Yeah.
don't want none of that.
Yeah, there's
So
been a lot of
this
weird
this is what
energy out there this year so
oh yeah,
far, bro.
this is what we here for, man. So I'm pumped. I'm hyped. I feel good. Glad to be on. Thank you for shooting up the bat signal, bro. I appreciate it. But I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. I'm looking forward to this. To actually already have a showcase like this in January. They did it last year. It hit really hard last year. I felt like it was a huge success, and it's just one line in many type of gaming events we're gonna have this year. So we're getting 2024 started off strong. We got lots of awesome games coming around the corner as well. So I'm pumped, dude. And this wouldn't be a Fun Speculation co-stream without Mr. Live Ron Uncut here as
oh,
well.
ooh.
Steel
It's
Rain
gonna be Jasper.
is joining us for the developer direct. What's up, Steel? How are you, bro?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. Just picked up the girls from school. They had a little short day, had some testing and stuff, and so I was able to make it. I thought I was gonna have to hold off and maybe catch up later, but appreciate being here. I think we're gonna get into a lot of hype. I think I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down for PTK though. I think this is where Xbox is going to announce they're going third party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the show's going to be about.
Jumping
right?
off the porch.
The
man.
first thing
Good
we're going to
Lord.
see is Sea of Thieves going to PlayStation, and the next thing we're going to see is Hi-Fi Rush is going to Nintendo Switch, and then they're going to end the show. That's just what it's all about, right?
And then the secret thing is going to be Tatanka, and that how the Halo Battle
Exactly,
Royale is going to
right?
be everywhere.
Exactly.
Even
And that's going to
Except
be on the
Xbox.
Switch too.
It's
by
not
the
going to be
way.
on
Except
Xbox.
Yeah, it's going to be on the
Yeah.
Switch too.
It's going to be on PC, not Xbox.
They're debuting at Switch 2 here, by the way, too.
There you go. Perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, Game Pass
Yeah.
on the Switch. Let's go. Yeah, it's going to happen at this show. No, that's not what anybody's been talking about this year. It seems like is that kind of stuff, but like there is lots of reason to be excited because these games at this show, and the show is about Xbox, PC, and Game Pass, is what they said. These games, I think having three big heavy hitters here, and then also having another big PC game like Ara at the same showcase as already that's like good. You know what I mean? Good too. That's great to have those many big games at one show. That's something that if you look at competition, like PlayStation hasn't had a showcase with a lot of great big games in a couple years, right? So we already had last year's developer direct. We had the Xbox showcase last year. Then we also had the Game Awards, which we already saw Hellblade 2, and also had that Blade announcement. Now we're already on a Dev Direct. Absolutely insane, and everybody's all doom and gloom out there. I don't get it, but lots of reasons to be excited. Jasper, how you doing, bro?
Pretty good. Just finished Plague's Tale Requiem today. I wish someone would have told me that game was good,
Okay.
3-bit, but 3-bit
Nice,
never said
nice.
anything about it. So.
It's always 3-bit's fault.
Yeah.
Did you play the first one?
No, I'm thinking about going back and getting it because
Yeah.
it's on sale on Steam for like $7 right
They're
now.
good games, man.
Yeah.
A lot of stealth and stuff. They're.
I mean, the
gorgeous.
gameplay was like whatever, but like the story of the game is like, yeah.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah,
Ripping.
Asobo is fucking incredible, man. To be able to do a game like Plague Tale and also do Flight Sim.
Flight Sim.
Yeah, it's like so different from one another, but they nail them both in such good ways. Shout out to the chat. There's our brother Pong Soul hanging out. Says jealous. Awesome to see you, brothers. Chat, great to see you all,
What's
gamers.
up,
We'll be
Pong?
lurking. See you guys for PM in the PM 100. Yes, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. At least if Pong's on time, we'll see. But planning on 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight is PM in the PM. It's our 100th episode of PM in the PM. So Pong Soul and I are super excited to have that show tonight and also land on the same day as the Developer Direct because we will have lots of awesome stuff to talk about. So I'm fucking pumped for that. But I kind of want to go around before we get started with the co-stream and kind of get like, what are y'all most excited for this Developer Direct? We'll start with PTK. Like, pick one out of these games, man. What is it that's you just can't wait to see, bro?
I've thought about this, and initially you would think Indiana Jones, right? Because it's probably the most unknown out of the IPs that we know we're going to see outside of whatever the fifth thing is, right? If we do get a fifth thing, whatever that is. So I'm going Avowed, though. I really think Avowed is going to show the best. I think it's going to really surprise people. I'm a huge Obsidian fan, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying this forever. I think that they're going to be one of the top, if not already are one of the top studios at Xbox, top 2, top 3. Their versatility, be able to do things like a Grounded on a small team and then turn around and, also making Outer Worlds 2, and then making Avowed in between all of that, So very like Insomniac, like in the best ways, right? Being able to make high quality games, in a consistent pace. So I think Avowed is going to be amazing, bro. It's not Elder Scrolls, goddammit. I know, you know what I mean? I'm not I understand people kind of misconstrue that, but this is essentially their version. I don't even really want to compare the two because, it's a different game, different company altogether, but this is their take on a high fantasy world. And I think people kind of got to understand that. I know some people felt a certain way about the way the game looked, but I think that's just more so like an art style. I enjoy it. I'm a high fantasy freak, man. I love it. So I'm curious to see what they're going to show, but I think Avowed's probably going to steal the show today, man. Even probably show better than Indiana Jones.
Yeah, man. Dude, I love it.
You're a bold man.
Yeah, we're in sync on that.
Throwing it out, jumping off the porch.
I'm not gonna say it's like gonna be more hyped than Indiana Jones after see, but just personally, for me, I'm most excited as well for Avowed. But what about you, Steel?
Avowed is not up there for me at all.
I know.
Don't care for it at all.
He's got to wait for 10 years of mod supports before he plays.
Exactly. Then I'll be able to play
He's
third
got
person.
to be turned
and
into a Souls game like he did with
Skyrim. Exactly. That's what makes it great. But no, I wish I could be excited for Avowed. Unfortunately, I'm not. But again, I may end up jumping into it. It just depends. I've been feeling a little bit differently about some first-person games, but single-player games really don't pull me that way. The thing that I'm most excited for is definitely Hellblade more than anything else here. Although, again, I know we've seen too much from Hellblade, quote-unquote. I don't think that personally that I've seen too much. I'd like to hear those little dev diaries that they do and whatnot. Give us more and more information about it, their approach to it. Again, this is a studio that's been given more time than ever, more money than ever, has a huge investment behind them. Why not let them tell that journey? It's kind of like a storybook that we've kind of observed over the years, where it's like chapter after chapter. I kind of put this in reference to like an anime, right? You get one season 1 year, then I got to wait almost 2 years later for the next season. So that's kind of how I feel about Ninja Theory. I do want to see more, like maybe like a 5-minute consistent clip of combat, to where they really show how versatile it is, or how the combos are now, whether they are extensive, whether they've been made more simple. Again, I always go back to, the lead chick, she also can't remember her name. It sucks to me, but unfortunately. But Sinua herself. But I was talking about the lady that actually played her.
I think it's Melina Jurgens. I think that's her name.
Something like that.
That sounds about right. I know that she's actually this time around taking like severe combat classes. So it's going to be interesting to see how much deeper she's gotten to the role this time, and how everything is kind of paid off training wise. But and as much as I've been down on Indy as far as him being relevant or not, I am interested to see, from hearing you guys talk about it, some of the rumors and things, where it's taking place at. I just want to see what Machine Games is going to do with this. Again, you're coming from somebody who was a killer with Wolfenstein. No matter how you might feel about it, you can't say those games aren't quality. So coming in with Machine Games, if they do if it is and it ends up being third person and it looks immaculate, I mean, at that point, we got to start asking ourselves, what can machine games not do?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what they're
Yeah,
going to do.
that's
today,
fair.
so.
I wonder if in Avowed you're going to be able to switch between first and third person.
From what they
There
made it
was
seem like, it was gonna be
Starfield
smooth.
style, you
Yeah,
mean?
there was
Kinda
like clips
be
where
able
like
to
you see
jump
like a
between?
sword and like a spell in one hand, but then you see like kind of farther out shots too.
Yeah.
So like,
And that's kind of
kinda.
typical for that kind of game
Yeah.
too. Outer Worlds, I think, could you switch? I think
I
you
don't
could.
think so. It was all
remember.
first.
Nah, Outer
I
Worlds
thought
was
Outer
full
Worlds was all
time
first
FPS,
person.
I think, right? Or could you switch?
I'm not sure.
I think it's all first person. And I'm just going off of what I
Yeah, I
have
don't
seen and heard
remember.
because I haven't played the game.
I know I played it in first person, but like I don't know if you could switch because like
I don't think you
Fallout New
can.
Vegas, you obviously could because it's like a Fallout game, I believe. And then
Yes, you can, but it doesn't look good. But
yeah, and then they've done Knights of the Old Republic
Mhm.
2. I believe that's all third person, right?
yeah.
So I mean they have a history of doing both. So it'd be interesting to see in Avowed. I know most of the stuff we've seen is first person for sure. It reminds me of Oblivion a little bit, kind of, and like with I'm not saying it's gonna be the same kind of game, but
Outer Worlds
with-
is first person.
Outer Worlds is all
Yeah,
first person.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
I get an Oblivion vibe from it a little bit, so that's why I'm so pumped for Avowed.
Yeah, for sure.
Jasper, what about you, man?
Yeah, definitely one of my most anticipated games this year to play for sure is Avowed. But at the show, I think I'm most interested in seeing Indiana Jones just to see what the overall game is. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
biggest
a
mystery,
twofer,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
get to see my most anticipated game. We get to see like a game you don't know about yet. So
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really exciting though when you talk about Indiana Jones, like because we've been speculating on what kind of game it's going to be for a long time now, ever since the teaser trailer that was put out there. And there's clues in the teaser trailer a lot about Rome, and you got ancient circles, and that there's a rumor about the Great Circle and stuff, and like all these different little hints about what the game is, right? But as far as the story goes, but we don't know like how if that's just one potential location, if you're going to be going around.
Well, I
lots
mean,
of
if he's
different
only in
places.
one place, like I feel like he kind of already failed as Indiana Jones. You have to have some
Yeah,
fucking
right,
plane,
you gotta go
like
multiple
loading screen
places,
yeah.
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 And then like what is the overall like for me the Indiana Jones is going to come down to story,
Yeah, for sure. Are we hung up on Harrison Ford at all being attached to this or no?
I don't
I don't
want
think
him
he-
in
I
I
don't
don't
think
care
he
either.
should.
I don't think he
I'm-
is either. But
I
No,
don't
he
want him
shouldn't.
in this game.
He
Okay.
should not be in it. He is way.
I don't think so
Again,
either.
he's above his age. And again, I know Earl Jones, the guy who played Mufasa in Lion King. He was doing it for a long time. The same he did Vader too. I know he was doing it for a long time. So it's kind of like I'm not trying to be uberly biased about it, but I just think I know you guys do. Harrison Ford just doesn't need to be indie anymore. Like we need to move on. If we want to bring the character back to the forefront of things,
He's doing more to destroy the indie character than like he is helping it at this point. Like
outside of back
What
in the
about-
day,
what about at least his likeness or no? No,
I honestly would like somebody that looked completely different.
simply different. Okay, I'm okay with that. Like
It could be
I'm okay
indie, but
with
look different. He could be similar, right? He could be somewhat similar.
I mean,
Yeah.
just a dude with like a straw jawline
Yeah,
or something
you know
like
what I'm
that's.
saying?
It's
gotta be-
Anthony. It's got to be Anthony and Gruber, like the guy that played him in Age of Adeline. That's been a body double for him. The guy
That'll be kinda
that's
cool.
done a body
Yeah.
double for him in
think about
Indiana Jones before. He's a spitting image of Harrison Ford. Does a great impersonation with like he did in Age of Adeline, but he's also has the history with Indiana Jones franchise. He's also does voice acting in games. Like that's just it's like the trifecta there. Like it just makes too much damn sense.
Yeah.
Like if I was casting, that would be my first call. If I had plans to make this a potential franchise for the future where it's going to be ongoing. If it's like a one-off thing, they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want. But like if you really have plans to like make this a thing
Yeah.
and potentially have other games going forward, you want to kind of have some continuity there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we
Well,
don't
that
know
makes
how
sense.
many more plane crashes Harrison Ford is going to survive.
Well, it's
so-
also just gonna be weird. Like you have like a 90-year-old voice and like a 30-year-old
Yeah.
dude. It's just gonna
That's
like,
true. That makes
And
sense.
again, and people say, "Oh, we could just use AI." Like AI can do a lot of heavy lifting. But come on, like, is that what you want to depend
Yeah,
on?
you don't
moving
need
into
you
the
don't
future?
need
Yeah.
to do that though.
You can
for a
use
game
his
like this.
likeness.
I
right?
would
Because
say like
that's
if
an
Harrison
indie.
Ford voiced him, you maybe use AI to like alter the voice to sound younger potentially, but not like
Try to,
yeah, but not like have AI do the voice app, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, because then no one's gonna play it. We got to boycott the AI.
right. I know Alana Pierce will not play that game if it was.
Oh.
What was that company that she said she would boycott if they were involved with any games?
I don't even know.
It was whoever Microsoft signed
Damn.
a deal with that did AI, that did like AI stuff.
Is that
Anyway.
a problem for you guys, or something that you guys kind
No.
of consider? Because
No, I don't
Antonio,
care.
no, I mean
Care.
more so for this question. Antonio says, "I don't care about the voice, but I want him to look like Harrison Ford." And I saw somebody else bring it up. Like, I mean, he has been the only one to be Indy, which is very
there was
unique,
young Indy,
right?
I was gonna say there was, and it depends on like the timeline too, right? Like we're at in the time. Is this alternate universe Indiana Jones, or is this like
That's
somewhere in the timeline?
Yeah, I kind of would hope so.
It's the
where it's
Indiana
taking
Jones
place at, right?
multiverse. Yeah, will be.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
He's gonna go against Thanos. It's gonna be great.
Or this could just be like the way that they do it. I don't know. I know you guys deep dive in a little bit more, and I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it. I don't know how much they're going to be connecting it to.
Well, I mean, I feel like with
original movies and
Lucasfilm, like Lucasfilm is really like picky, like what they allow you to put, like if there's going to be canon. So like,
I think
if it's canon, I think Lucasfilm is probably going to have like a heavy hand. It's like,
yeah, and they were on like their name was on the like teaser and as well,
teaser,
obviously because it's Indiana Jones, but like also like there was interviews and stuff before we learned that they really loved Todd Howard's pitch. You know what I mean? Like for this game, and like they want
passionate.
Yeah, so like I feel like this is something they felt good about with allowing it. And it's one of their treasured IPs, right? Like you got Star Wars, you have Indiana Jones, that's like number 1 and number 2 for them, right? And then you have, for Disney, you have all the Marvel stuff, but like Indiana Jones is something that they've tried to kind of keep alive, and like maybe gaming will be the new avenue to keep that franchise alive for longer, because
I mean, there's a rumored TV show in the
not.
works, and Harrison Ford wouldn't do the TV show, so like if that ever comes out, like
I don't
you're
see
gonna
why
have a
not.
new indie.
We already have Tomb Raider and we have Uncharted. I don't see why Indy couldn't have his own section in that too, or at least maybe they come out and Machine Games shows how to make those games better. Yeah. Maybe that's what they end up doing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just knowing the type of action that they're known for, though, I think they're going to be able to bring a lot to the table for him.
What would do y'all think there's a 5th game?
Yes.
I think there's going to be something.
I think there's going to be something.
It's going to be something. Again, they can say there's not going to be a shadow. I think there is going to be something for sure.
So you mean specifically 5th game, or just something
it doesn't
else?
have to be a shadow drop, but just a 5th game presented in some form or fashion, like a surprise thing going to be at this showcase.
I think there's going to be something. I'm definitely leaning toward. I'm like 80% sure there's going to be something. I'm not sold on the shadow drop, only because I'm still the whole precedence thing, and like is it really necessary? I mean, people are gonna be happy. I'm gonna play it, whatever it is, or try it. But
it could be an announcement. It doesn't have to be like a game.
That's what I'm saying. It could just be a trailer for something
drop
or announcement. Yeah, I'm okay. That too.
If it was another brand new game announcement, that would cause just as much hype as anything. If it was
that's what I think.
I'm thinking it's like new game announcement.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like studio, and like that's it. Like no shadow drops or anything. Just like here's a new game that's coming up this year or something.
Okay, so like we've speculated like about a potential other game that we don't know about for 2024, right?
I don't think it's a big game. I think it's like it's a smaller scale thing, but
right. The one that's been getting a lot of attention out there is that Kiln game from.
I don't think it's. I think it's something that's no one's even talking about.
Yeah. So one more question. Indiana Jones. It being at this developer direct, is it releasing this year?
Yeah.
We got, I mean, the only history we have, Mav, is the last year's show. And based on history, yes. So, I mean, it's pretty simple to me. Like, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be, right? Everything at last year's show came out last year, correct?
Yes.
Well, because we had that.
Or did I miss something?
Because that was a 12-month thing, right? Or they.
But yeah, I know that.
Well, that was their
different.
E3 show. The direct everything came out within.
The direct everything came out within the calendar year, correct? So based on history, I don't really see. We don't. I don't have any reason not to believe that everything showing here is not going to be able to come out.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it. I think Yeah, all that stuff came out. Forza, Minecraft Legends,
Redfall and
Redfall came
Hi-Fi.
out, and
Yep.
yeah, all the
Hi-Fi.
So
they all
just
came
to
out,
be
so-
like, I think so too,
Good point.
right? I think so too. However, just to throw the slight percentage chance that it's not, right? We only have one dev direct to go by, so that's not necessarily a pattern. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at
True,
at the time, remember they didn't have anything they showed at the Game Awards before that. They had a rough 2022 with first party releases. They didn't have a whole lot. So they were more there was more pressure, I think, on them last year to focus on only what's coming soon at the Dev Direct. So like
That 6-month window thing.
if they were to potentially not have Indiana Jones come out this year and still include it in this direct, would that be a problem for you guys?
I need you to ask that question again. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so like let me put it this way, like if they start doing these directs where like one game is not slated for this year, like is that a problem for you?
No, because you gotta
No.
have something to tease, right? As long as it's if you do that, it has to be something that can keep the people talking at least for a little bit, or something new. I would think.
Yeah. I don't
that you haven't heard of.
Yeah, I don't think that hurts the show much. I mean, some people might be upset about it. Why would you do that, right? Like, but like you said, we don't have a whole bunch of history. It's not like we got 4 or 5 shows that we can go based off of.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like you save that for E3 though. Like if anything's gonna be like farther than a year out, I think you just save that for
You think
E3 and don't
think
put
you
it
save it?
direct. Yeah.
Right.
You could. But once again, what if it's not? What if it's just like a trailer? Like,
Well, we're getting
So,
the
I
first
mean-
gameplay trailer. They said
I mean, well,
they
the
did
dev
actually say
direct shows
gameplay
like behind
too,
the
so-
scenes stuff. Like
yeah.
you hear about the devs, like how they are building the game or made the game, right? So
Yeah.
But they showed it too, though, right? So
yeah, they show
there's-
it.
and
They
there's
did. They
gonna be
did. Yeah.
10 minutes of
come-
Indiana Jones, right? So that's
Yeah.
I mean that's a good decent chunk.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah,
first
yeah.
gameplay trailer. So that leaves roughly what's rumored is that this is going to be 48 minutes long roughly.
Yeah. It's
So
48 is what-
if they're giving 10 minutes to Indiana Jones, that leaves 37 minutes for Ara, Avowed, and
Is that 10 minutes of
Hellblade 2.
gameplay or just a 10-minute
Well,
Indiana
there's a
Jones
gameplay,
segment?
a 10-minute segment, and there's going to be a gameplay
Okay.
trailer as a part of
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna have the explanation, the devs talking. Maybe we'll see Todd Howard. I don't know. And then we'll
Maybe.
see, Avowed. For who knows how long. We'll see Hellblade 2 for who knows how long. And then Ara. I think there's room for another game here. So it's gonna be interesting. We got 5 minutes. You want to go ahead and bring up the feed?
Yeah, I was hoping they
Jasper?
would have started it, but
Yeah, I know they didn't bring it up yet. Oh boy, 3 bits joining in the fun.
ooh,
This is gonna be fantastic. He didn't know if he was gonna be able to make it here, but he's here. What's up, 3
it's
bit?
3 bites. What's going on? Oh, God,
we can't
he's
hear you,
muted.
bro. I gotta move y'all over anyway. So
Okay.
let's move y'all over here. We're gonna have
I brought up the thing on YouTube.
What about
Okay.
now?
can hear
Yep,
you.
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
All right,
What's up,
sir.
3-bit?
What's up, y'all? How's it
When
going?
you join Discord through bit, you gotta mute your mic in Discord.
Yep.
So we're using the audio and Zoom.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Audio and
Got
video. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got 3 minutes here. I'm just trying to make sure I have the scenes correct, guys. So, bear with me on that as well. Let's see here. Yeah, we got 3 minutes to go. We see the thumbnail thing they have here. We got Oxide, Obsidian, Ninja Theory, Machine Games. Do y'all think Todd Howard shows up for the Indiana Jones thing?
Yeah, if
I
it
mean,
was
I
his
think he
idea,
ended-
It'd be
Introduces
great.
the
Yeah.
studio.
If he's as involved as everybody say he was, or as it seemed like
He has to
was,
be
yeah.
there.
I mean, he has
Yeah.
his fucking name on that game. Like he's gonna
Yeah,
be like,
absolutely.
"We're proud here at Bethesda to make Indiana Jones."
Arthur asks, who's Oxide and what are they working on? They're making Ara History Untold. It's launching first on PC. It's a grand strategy game, kind of in the mold of like a Civilization type game.
but bigger than it.
Yeah, it's bigger, doing different things. I think it has a chance to be a big PC franchise. I think eventually it will come to
It's
console,
optimized.
but as of right now, the console release has been put on hold. So we'll see about that for sure. We got 2 minutes to the Dev Direct. Man, there's I think What do y'all think is gonna be the standout? Last question.
Indy. Everyone's going to be talking about Indy after the end
Indiana
of the show.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it shows well, and again, I mean, I just don't
Yeah.
have any reason to question Machine. So it's like,
Me either.
what is that game really going to look like? Is it going to just look like Wolfenstein? I mean, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
going to be Wolfenstein with the indie skin on it.
That's what I was kind of talking about last night.
Like the
We're
Doom
going
game.
through all of the games that Machine Games has made in the past, and then what engine they're using, the ID
Mhm.
Tech engine,
It's really
how
impressive.
that was used in Doom, and how that could possibly be used in the Indiana Jones. It's gonna be interesting, man. I'm
Yeah, that
excited.
engine is extremely impressive. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's definitely Bethesda's one of Bethesda's better engine for sure.
I just like the fact that everybody's doing something different. Like it just shows all the studios are doing, you know what I mean? Just you got Avowed, you got Indiana Jones, like everybody's trying something and doing something different. It's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Less than 60 seconds. 3-bit. Real quick, what's your most anticipated game here?
Hellblade.
Hellblade?
Okay,
Yeah.
3-bit.
I know we've seen it already, but yep. I'm excited.
And then what do you think there's a fifth game?
Yeah, I think it's either Doom, Year Zero, or Kiln.
Right on. Wow, here, well, we're like seconds away, everybody. I want to thank everybody in the chat for choosing us to watch the co-stream with. I know there's probably like 50 million channels out there doing a co-stream for this event. Thank you for hanging out with Fun Speculation and a family here. You all rock, and super appreciate it. And I hope you all have a good time with this stream. And let's get fucking hype. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. New games. We got new trailers. We got new everything starting off this year. Great. And then next week we got games like Tekken dropping and stuff like that. It's like January is fucking fire
Day
this year,
one.
guys. Besides all the shenanigans with conversations out there, bro. Like this month of January is just special.
Insane, man.
Yeah, it really is. Let's get fucking hype. Chat. Real quick, chat, throw in your most anticipated games.
Facts,
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Avowed in
I'm gonna have a custom server ready and rocking for that power. Goddamn right.
On Friday?
Yeah, man. Tomorrow
Oh,
releases.
yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Streaming and
Let's go.
everything. Got time blocked off and all.
GT, the game of the year, GTA.
I don't know about game of the
I'm
year.
just-
Keep
I
it
know,
getting
just-
buffering on
I'm
the damn
gassing.
video,
I'm
Jasper.
gassing.
Yeah.
Playing down for me.
Yeah, it's fun for me.
It's fine for you.
Yeah, it's fun
I'm
for
gonna
me.
I'm real quick. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna have to bring up.
Let's go to
the other feed
YouTube
real
or
quick.
something.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up real quick.
We'll watch it in Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, I left the
Fair enough.
activity.
Yeah,
and came back.
it's glitching
Oh.
out on me. It has
Yep.
never done that before, but I'll minimize
You got
that.
6
I'll just
seconds,
bring it-
man.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's completely broken on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never had that problem before with it. So
That's crazy.
All right, let's get it going.
Text may contain
oh,
content.
that's the wrong one. I did the.
Okay.
Here we go.
That going crazy. Man.
Four unique games.
There we go. Had to switch it up on the fly, everybody, but we made it.
Well, there's room for one more there, but
There is definitely room for one more.
Yeah, they're gonna add one at the end.
yeah.
I bet you it's Doom.
Starting with Avowed.
Ooh, let's get it.
Welcome to Obsidian Entertainment. I'm so proud to share with you our upcoming fantasy action RPG, Avowed.
Ooh, pretty.
Avowed is an adventure into the heart of the living lands, a frontier at the edge of the known world, where you must put a stop to a mysterious spiritual plague and discover a secret at the heart of the living lands.
Man, looks good for
At
it.
Obsidian,
like
we love creating worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity.
The art style is sick. I don't care.
And Avowed is no different.
I love it.
Oh man, it's not like
We set out to blend the believable and fantastical to give players a world and experience like no other. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's strange. It's one of the most incredible settings in the world of Aora.
Yeah, definitely.
There's going to be a lot of great secrets to discover, one of which has a really personal connection to you as the player character,
cool.
and you're going to have a great time getting to know those secrets and leaving your mark on the world. And when it comes to encounters, our combat brings the best of the moment-to-moment fun that comes with action-oriented gameplay and the depth and breadth of choice that you get with an
Double
RPG.
wand in it.
Does it look better?
Here to talk
than
more
it
about
did the
Avowed's
first
time?
combat
Yeah.
is
No,
Gabriel
it
Carano,
definitely-
gameplay
Okay, I
director.
just want to make sure we
Here at
acknowledge
Obsidian,
that.
our team's
This is,
overarching goal is to
something I
empower
was saying
you
on
with
the show
choice.
last- I was
So
like,
we
I
developed
might-
a
I might
flexible
have some
combat
polish
system
next time
that
we
allows
see
you
it.
to quickly swap from spellcasting and sharpshooting to melee combat. We want to give you the freedom to mix and match your loadout to fit the way you want to play from moment to moment.
I feel like right
uninterrupted.
here it looks
For
more
all
so in line
battles,
with
you can
the
combine a
original
variety
trailer.
of
The
weapons,
original trailer,
attacks,
yeah, I was gonna
and
say.
abilities for tactical advantages against a wide range of enemy types.
Dang, that water. Yeah.
It's not
it
just
definitely
hacking and
looks
slashing. You're
more
making
polished.
real-time decisions
I don't know
about
what
when to
they did
use your
with it.
abilities, powerful melee attacks, blocks,
dope.
parries,
Even that particle.
and special attacks.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
you
that's
choose to
sick.
approach combat with a one-handed wand, it feels quick and snappy when dealing damage to enemies at mid-range. companion. Using the Tanglefoot ability, you can stop enemies in their tracks, giving you the opportunity to focus on weaker or tougher combatants in an intentional and controlled manner. It's important to pay attention to the types of enemies you're dealing with. Some units are extremely defensive, some are brutishly difficult, and others you must make sure you prioritize or their healing capabilities will put you in a tough spot. To help with the different encounters you will face, we provide customizable loadouts that can be quickly switched during combat.
Nice.
That means you can play however you want. Equip a sword and shield and charge into battle. Dual-wield pistols and control the encounter mid-range. Or even dual-wield wands to feel like a gunslinging mage. You could use your enchanted wand to freeze enemies, and then use your
let's
offhand
go.
weapon's power attack to shatter them.
Oh, you can do it at once.
We've worked
Yeah,
hard
bro.
to keep you
That's
constantly
crazy.
engaged as battles unfold by creating a balance between pressure and manageability during combat.
Players will have ample choices for how to build and progress their envoy in the world of the living lands as they get to know the game and the story and explore the many diverse regions. Some
Yeah, that's
quests
the
in
one thing
Avowed
that
will
I
have you
noticed
make
thinking
difficult
that.
decisions with
So the
profound
enemies aren't really
consequences.
moving like that.
this side quest you may encounter in Shatterscarp, the third region you'll explore on your journey through
they're
the living
showcasing
lands.
Dude, the lighting looks
As
sick.
you're exploring, you come across the bodies of these fallen soldiers. And as you explore the remains of the battle, it's up to you to determine who, if
There's
anyone,
a lot
is
of
at
little
fault.
detail in this game.
Just the four of us.
Yeah.
Manu, Kiri,
I gotta
Naoki,
rewatch this in like 4K.
training under Captain Ruiki, trying to keep Thirdborn safe.
In other words, you're a gang of vigilantes. Not that I'm one to judge.
Here, take my badge. Take everyone's. Our families deserve to know we fought and died for them.
Making the right choice isn't always what it seems. We embrace moral nuance and gray areas, trusting players to make tough decisions
There you
in
go.
complicated situations.
My squad and I rested in the cave by the water last night, and as we were sleeping, we were ambushed by those miserable Zorips.
Those damn
I was so surprised, and it was so dark. I just got separated from everyone else. Look, I can't face those monsters alone, but I have to know if anyone else made it out. Of course he did. Sergeant Asui never has a thought he won't say out loud. So what did he tell you? That Captain Ruiki was sick? That I was paranoid? That I was a dumb baby? I heard it all often and loudly. Wait, if you found Sergeant Asui, why is he not here with you? What happened?
At the end of the quest, you have a choice. When you confront Private Naoki, if you believe the story he's told you, you can hand over the badges and let him go back home.
Not gonna lie, this kind of like
You're
reminds
right.
me of Baldur's Gate 3.
Real battles
a
and
little
something
bit.
to
Yeah, I was,
prepare for.
I was
isn't it?
thinking
Decisions,
of
yeah.
It's not my fault. No, They should have never have camped in the cave. I'll take the badges. I'm going back to Third Born.
But if you confront him,
if anything,
if you
I think
believe that
it's
he
more
fled the
reminiscent
site
of
of the
New Vegas
battle
from what I
as an act
remember.
of cowardice, then he might challenge you to
Where
a
your
fight to
choices
reclaim
actually
his
matter in
honor.
the game.
Either way,
I don't know if
when
it
you
does in
return to
Skyrim or
town,
not.
you'll
That's
see
something
the
they've always done.
consequences of your actions and the choices
that,
you made during this
Some of the
quest.
Skyrim stuff did. You could choose
Creating an
certain
immersive
factions to
experience
join
like
you in the
Avowed
battles
is
and
anchored
stuff.
in the world we build. Art director
It
Matt
seems like
Hansen and the
Obsidian
team have worked to create a
knows that
unique,
system
colorful,
better
and
than-
dynamic visual style.
From the outset, we knew that we wanted Avowed setting to feel rich, weird, and
And
wonderful.
that's the one thing that I was missing.
We
from
found
Starfield. It
inspiration
doesn't
in
feel
a
same.
wide
like I was
swath
expecting.
of real-world cultures, helping
Right,
us
with
create a
the
unique
voice dialogue and how
RPG
that
experience
impacts moments and
by
Right,
contrasting
exactly.
the
Like how they're
vibrant
explaining it here.
with the dull,
This seems
or
like a
verdant
direct
spaces
carry-on
with sickly
from
ones.
New
We
Vegas.
can better deliver
Except
complex
this is their
emotional
Skyrim New Vegas,
experiences
I guess,
for
you
our
know.
players.
right.
The Living Lands is a continent of untamed valleys with widely varied biomes, from
Definitely looks
luxuriant
much
forests
better than
to
Halo.
volcanic
Definitely,
wastes.
dude. Right, it
And
looks- it's a
each of
beautiful
those
world, man. I
regions
love
itself is a
The enemies not
conflux
having
of
much
storied
movement,
landscapes.
because they're talking about
All of
stuff.
the regions have a lot of special things associated with them, but I have a
from the
deep
last
place in
one,
my
they
heart
were,
for
like, showing it,
Shatterscarp.
like,
Yeah,
actually see, like,
I
As
would-
you're
fluid
wandering
stuff.
the wastes of Shatterscarp, you might notice
Wasn't
off
that
in the
last time they
distance
showed to
a
now, though?
vibrant jewel
Like,
of color.
Yeah, it's
like,
different.
yeah.
By transitioning from destitute, muted tones of a wasteland of sand and marching in towards a beautiful oasis, there's the opportunity there for life, for adventure,
I mean,
and even a little
I'm not saying
danger.
that the game is ugly. I mean, and again,
We hope you've enjoyed
it's
this
not
look at
lifelike,
Avowed.
but I
We're
don't think
thrilled to
everything
share
needs
more
to be
about the
that.
game in the coming months,
Definitely looks way
and we
better.
can't wait for you to explore the Living Lands when Avowed launches this fall.
yeah, JB 1521. This game was going to have a lot of
This would have been
So that kind of lines up with some of our guesses on the
I like
timelines
that
of
art.
releases so far. Would this be in the fall game?
Yeah,
This could
fall,
get
yeah.
maybe get a big dev direct blowout
Yeah,
at
that's sick. Look at that.
at the showcase.
Yeah, that artwork was
Yeah, the art's
super
really
dope. I
cool.
really
That's
like
dope.
that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
was-
All right, Paul. That's dope.
It didn't say PlayStation on that. Just letting everybody know.
Oh,
It didn't
here
say
you go.
PlayStation.
Here you go.
It didn't say Switch. Just saying.
They can move it. They can move it a little bit.
Ninja
Okay,
Theory.
next.
Yeah.
Definitely my most anticipated out of the list.
Yeah. Thinking Ninja Theory. Let's go.
Here you go, 3-bit.
Hi, I'm Don Matthews, studio head here at Ninja Theory in Cambridge, UK. We're now in the final months of development on Senua's Saga
Final months.
Hellblade 2,
Soon.
and the team is working hard to bring you an unforgettable journey into Senua's unique world and her
today.
battle for survival, where we have once
That
again
would be
combined
insane.
high fidelity and
Somebody's gonna click
immersive
that.
presentation with a shorter, narrative-led
May
experience that
21st, I think, on
focuses on the
those
things
leaks for
that
sure.
we really care about,
Yeah, bro.
and that we hope you care about too.
He said, you hear that? He said it's going to be a shorter narrative-led experience.
Do you see how the pitiless world stamps you down?
Senua is back with a new quest. She
my
wants to stop
gosh,
the
dude.
Vikings who raided her village right at their source, in Iceland. But not just her quest has changed. Senua herself has grown since the first Hellblade. She's made peace with her past and is no longer in such fear of her visions and voices. While the Furies are still her constant companions,
This character models
she
are
encounters
insane.
new people along the way, some of which will value her unique perspective, and others who will reject it.
Little by little, this settlement became my tribe.
In the game, Senua arrives in 10th century Iceland on the trail of the Vikings who have been enslaving her people. In the story, we're trying to be as faithful to history as we can up to a point, establishing a solid framework and then building more surreal elements on top. Senua will face up to giants who have plunged the land into chaos, and which in turn has seen the rise of the
No,
Droiga, a violent
it can't
threat
be
that has
because she
swept
wasn't
through the
comfortable
settlements
with her
that she'll
before. I was
discover.
there.
Senua will make new enemies.
She was more so like
and
freaked
also
out.
new
That was like
allies
the whole
who
first
will
game
come
was
to
gonna be
see
about
her unique perspective as a beacon of hope. And she'll discover along with us how this viewpoint can have its advantages.
Stuff like that was mentioned in the
A sign.
Senua is a Celtic warrior who experiences psychosis, seeing things that other people don't, hearing voices, and having unique beliefs about the world around her. To bring Senua's perspective of the world to life in a truthful way, we have once again worked closely with Professor Paul Fletcher at the University of Cambridge, as well as people with lived experience of psychosis.
What does that mean? What does that mean? It's terrifying.
It's like the first one.
Players will find themselves traversing beautiful and hostile environments, seeking answers from patterns and signs that Senua sees in her own unique way, and battling through encounters with enemies that will push Senua to her limits.
Oh, this is gonna be so fucking good, man.
On Saga, we've taken everything to the next level. With a new motion capture space, a bigger stage team, a stunt crew,
Here
and
we
a
go
new
again.
cast.
I haven't heard this before.
We spent a lot of time planning the motion capture shoots, thinking of what events would be good to bring into this fight. Like, how can we make this fight feel different from the previous fight? We have all new combat for the sequel. One of our key goals was the ability to actually tell a story throughout it. It does feel very different from the first game, but it's very brutal and you're very invested in it. Senua isn't a superhero. She's fighting for survival, and we want the player to feel her struggle in every step of her journey. We want the player to always feel like they just scraped through, just survived it.
Mel knows Senua better than anyone, better than I do. Her instincts are amazing, and she really doesn't need much help from me. On stage, our main focus is storytelling. So I get to watch the actors and see all the beautiful expressions on their faces. And then I have to wait a little while, and then I get to see that all again, in-game, in costume, on location, everything. It's a great experience, a great process.
Every discipline in the studio is unified in achieving a deep level of immersion to help suspend your disbelief and pull you into Senua's story.
Everything.
We were lucky enough to do a few reference gathering trips in Iceland. You have to be there. The sense of scale, everything is incredible. And you see a scene or you see a small section of the game and you're like, yeah, that works, that's amazing.
Senua experiences reality differently,
30 FPS.
and a part of this manifests in the voices she hears.
She will collapse. She will collapse.
These voices come to life through binaural audio, which provides a good representation of this type of auditory hallucinations. As we focus in immersion, binaural audio is perfect for this because through headphones, you surround yourself in a three-dimensional space.
I did notice
in the first game, we only applied to the voices that Senua listens in her head. In this game, through spatial audio technology and some extra little things within the game, there is music that is binaural. Every single sound has the potential to be binaural, so everything is spatialized around you, and it's a very beautiful experience.
What will they do to her? What will we do to us?
Music is a strange language in the sense that it speaks to our emotions fast and deep. It's not only about quality, it's about personality. So when you listen to Hellblade, you know it's Hellblade. On the music, we are working with Heilung, which for me is a personal privilege because I really admire them.
Too many voices, idea. 7.
We feel their craft, their depth, their meaning in the music. It really connects with our game and elevates it to something really special. We are also working with a heavy metal singer, throat singers, and our very own Furies. They sing so beautiful, and we add that binaural touch of music. So this all creates a very immersive and a very special and unique experience.
That's crazy, yeah.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech. And that's our aim in Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, is to not only see where Senua goes next, but to deliver something really meaningful for our players.
my hope is that they will really connect to Senua as a character, and even if they can't really relate to what she's going through, maybe they know someone that relates to that character and they can then understand that person better.
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but in a way I'm Senua, right? She exists and doesn't. It exists through all of our work, through every ninja. So we all are Senua, and we are creating this character that grows and grows and grows and grows and keep growing and keep changing. So that makes it real.
I'm so proud of the love, care and passion our team here at Ninja Theory are putting into Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Our hope is to not only create a game that is great to play, but to craft an experience that leaves you thinking and feeling. From our combat gameplay through to our action set pieces, from our cinematic scenes to our puzzle solving, everything is crafted in service of Senua's journey. A journey that you can embark on May 21st.
May 21st.
There we go. May 21st. Date was accurate.
That's before the June showcase and everything. There's a lot of hype going into it.
My guess is Ara's next.
Yeah.
You think they say
They'll leave
Indy
Indiana
for
Jones.
last? They probably do Indy for last.
Yeah.
But they're gonna end it with
Whoa,
Ara.
there we go. Somebody.
It's a fucking surprise. What's happening
Wow,
here,
welcome
baby?
there.
What is that?
Square Enix.
Square Enix. Yeah.
Whoa.
What is this?
And everyone was saying no third parties could be here.
Wait, there may be enough
Is that
for a
Grand
sixth
Blue?
game. There may be enough for a sixth game here. I don't know.
Yeah, there might be another one. There's another space down there.
Different game.
The Foam Stars coming to Xbox day one.
That wasn't Foam Stars.
Greetings,
this?
Xbox players. My name is Masaru Oyamada,
What the heck
producer
is
for
going
the
on?
Mana series
Mana.
here
Mana,
at
the new Mana
Enix.
game is coming. Okay.
聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの情報を
Yeah, the new Mana game.
Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにいち早くお伝えできる機会をいただけて大変光栄です。コンソールゲームとしては約17年ぶりとなる聖剣伝説シリーズの完全新作。聖剣伝説シリーズは1991年にファイナルファンタジー外伝として誕生して以降、マナと聖剣をめぐって描かれる愛をテーマに個性豊かなキャラクターたち、心に響く楽曲の数々、武器の特性を生かして戦うアクション RPG としてこれまでに17作発売され長らく愛されてきました。本作は30年以上の歴史あるシリーズの最新作となるため、これまで培われてきた聖剣伝説史の世界をしっかり感じられるものを目指して鋭意制作中です。フィールドでは自然や精霊とのつながりを感じられる色彩豊かな聖剣伝説の世界を体験してもらえると思います。シリーズおなじみのモンスターたちも本作に登場しています。今回これらのおなじみのモンスターたちを作り出した聖剣伝説の生みの親である石井浩一さんとともに聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの内容を紹介していきたいと思います。
Hello, I am Koichi Ishii from Grabs. I am so happy to introduce the newest game in the Mana series to
The live videos is way louder than us or something.
シリーズ作品に登場しているモンスターたちは私が考案したものですが、中には小学生の頃すでにイメージができていたものもあります。今作では初めはドット絵からスタートしたモンスターたちをどのような形で最新化して聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナに落とし込むか、デザインの方向性からモデルの完成イメージまでを監修する立場でプロジェクトに参加しました。聖剣伝説ファイナルファンタジー外伝を作っていた頃から自分の頭の中ではモンスターたちは立体的に生き生きと動いて、これまで自分が携わった作品ではそれらをどうやって当時の技術で表現できるかにこだわって作ってきました。最新作では聖剣伝説のモンスターたちのただ可愛いだけではなく恐ろしさの部分もしっかりと表現できているので、バトル中はモンスターたちの表情にも注目してください。
これまで聖剣伝説シリーズには空を旅する、海を渡る手助けをしてくれる頼もしい仲間たちがいましたが、今作には広大なフィールド探検に欠かせない新たな仲間が登場します。陸上を猛スピードで駆け回ってくれるピックル。ピックルも石井さんが新たに考案してくださっています。
新たな仲間を考えるにあたっては、今作のマスコットキャラクターになるくらい可愛い動物にしたいという漠然とした思いがありました。その上でヨークシャテリアの毛並み、見た目はアルマジルによく似た仙山公や古代エジプト神のアヌビスの子供といった具体的なイメージが浮かんできて、それぞれの特徴を取り入れながらラフデザインを書き起こしました。デザイナーにもアイデアを出してもらいながら、足の長さや丸まった時のイメージなど、ゲームの中での見え方を考えながら調整を重ねていき、ピックルは誕生しました。もう一つの挑戦は楽曲面です。過去さまざまなコンポーザーが携わられた楽曲の雰囲気が感じられつつも、最新作として素晴らしい新たな楽曲が生まれました。BGM でもしっかり聖剣伝説シリーズらしさを感じてもらえると思います。過去シリーズの楽曲を手掛けたクリエイターたちが全100曲という大ボリュームの制作に挑んでくれました。新たな試みとしてフィールドの探索からバトルまでをシームレスに体験できるよう、今作ではインタラクティブミュージックを導入しており、冒険の没入感を高めてくれます。探索中の BGM がバトルに入った瞬間、アレンジが切り替わる様を実際に聞いてみましょう。今作はアクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。空中でのアクションがバトルの鍵となっており、武器での攻撃だけでなく魔法での攻撃も可能になっています。そして本作ならではの特徴として、聖剣伝説シリーズではおなじみの精霊たちがいますが、その力を宿した武器を使うとバトルを手助けしてくれるようになります。精霊によっては様々な特性の違いがありますので、その効果とともに聖剣伝説の世界らしい不思議な力で爽快なバトルを楽しんでいただけます。 オリジナルモンスターやピックルにも注目してほしいのですが、聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・マナーは聖剣伝説らしさを感じてもらえる作品になるように、小山田君を中心にチームのみんなが頑張って作ってくれていますので、ぜひ発売日を楽しみに待っていてください。私自身もプレイするのを楽しみにしています。聖剣伝説シリーズとして初めて Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにお届けする本作、聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは今後も様々な情報をお届けしていきますので、ぜひご期待ください。この夏、この忘れられない冒険を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんに楽しんでいただける日が今から待ちきれません。
I'm not seeing PlayStation in that at all, but then again, this is an Xbox show.
It's multi-plat.
Yeah, it's probably
it's coming to
PlayStation.
Summer.
Summer, yeah.
That's May. We got May 21st. We got fall, and we got another one summer. Did you say Game Pass?
No, he didn't say Game Pass, but it's the only thing that would make sense.
It would have said Game Pass if it was coming to Game Pass for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so.
Dude, it has space on that right side. You guys see that?
I was looking at that too, but I don't want to get too.
Hello, and welcome to Oxide Games. We founded the studio in 2013 with our decades of personal experience building some of the most beloved strategy games of all time, like Civilization V. We came together to create something new and innovative in a genre we all love.
PC Game Pass is this game.
Ara History Untold is the game we've dreamt of making.
Ara is an homage to historical gamers, strategy gamers, 4X gamers. It features all the depth and gameplay fans of this genre love, where you'll explore the world, expand your nation, govern your people, and engage with your rivals on the international stage. But it isn't just more of the same. With Ara, we wanted to challenge some of the preconceived notions about the genre, push it forward in a modern, empowering, and truly compelling and approachable way.
I like the fact that you started.
For example, we have over 100 instruments on display in the office, which are all things that we purchased in order to add to the soundtrack and expand the game and make it really good.
Oh, that's cool.
Hi, Dan. That's Dan. We started in his basement. It's been an amazing process to see from concept to completion. We started small, building a robust game engine, questioning our design assumptions, and prototyping out features, rediscovering what made us fall in love with strategy games in the first place.
The end result is Ara, the historical grand strategy game that presents a living world where you can rule how you want to rule and chart your own path to becoming the most prestigious nation on the planet.
For Ara, we knew we needed deep systems with outcomes that encourage exploration and give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices while still having agency over their playstyle.
We also wanted to explore more in different parts of history and give players from around the world the chance to see the game reflect their unique perspective and not just ours.
Sooner than later.
And finally, we knew that for players to feel the impact of their decisions, they would need to see their choices reflected in the game world itself, not just through numbers on a menu.
Damn,
One of the first differences you'll see when you dive into Ara is what we call the living world. It's a procedurally generated alternate Earth, bursting with life, an intuitive, authentic, and immersive space, a blank canvas for players to paint the society of their dreams.
The living world isn't just a map. It reflects the choices players make over the course of the game.
What is that?
They can see everything from the settling of the wilderness to cultural influence on architecture over time to the thousands of citizens living their lives and reacting to the changes. We want players to feel like they're truly occupying the world, leading their people as they thrive and grow. Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to rule. And no feature better exemplifies this than the prestige system.
To win a game of Ara, players will compete with their rivals to build the most influential, impressive, and important nation the world has ever known. This is measured by prestige, the player's score that proves their worth as a leader.
The prestige system gives players the chance to decide what kind of leader they want to be. Do they want to pursue great works of arts and culture? Military might? Scientific advancement?
Oh, there you
the
go,
choice
Steele,
is
you got your
theirs.
Mix.
In Ara, there are no set victory conditions. Players get to decide what is most important to them and focus and prioritize on those goals while still being able to win the game.
Personally, when I play Ara, I like to build triumphs. Triumphs are our collection of incredible monuments and architectural achievements from throughout human history. Like the Great Pyramid of Giza. They're hard to build, but worth it, giving huge prestige bonuses and game-changing abilities to the nation that constructs them.
Another aspect of Ara that I'm personally excited about is our crafting system.
The crafting system offers a unique challenge to the player that they generally won't see often in the 4X genre. Succeeding at balancing, gathering the right things, turning them into the tools that you need, and then finally getting to the outcome or reward of something like an important improvement or triumph just changes the challenge that exists in Ara compared to other 4X games.
Crafting plays out in Ara at a national scale, with players honing and combining the natural resources they harvest into all manner of goods and components. Those are the foundation for everything, from international trade to improving their cities and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units. The crafting system in Ara encourages thoughtful, advanced planning. It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their collective decisions, and not just the individual ones.
I'm proud of the work that's gone into our simultaneous turn system. Many strategy games have players alternate taking turns and reacting to their opponent's moves. In Ara, all players' actions are resolved at the same time. This rewards players' ability to navigate uncertainty, to predict and strategically plan for a variety of scenarios in the moment. This system makes Ara just feel more real. In a typical strategy game, once your turn is finished, you have to wait for a long time. With simultaneous turns, generally speaking, those times are very low. You get to keep playing the game and stay engaged rather than having those periods of downtime where you're not doing anything.
It's not easy sifting through all of history and picking what to include. For Ara, we wanted to offer a fresh perspective, so we looked at cultures and societies throughout the millennia with the broadest lens possible.
Where this approach really shines is in our leaders. Leaders are so often seen as military personnel or prominent government figures, but leaders come in so many different forms. They're thought leaders, scientific and cultural prodigies, and many more.
They're spending this much time
Each
on Ara,
leader in
that
Ara
game's
has a
like
number
dropping.
of special abilities determined by their personality traits, as well as a powerful and unique leader trait informed by their
Especially the way they're
contributions to
explaining
world
how it works.
history.
With a diverse global roster, we know players will find leaders that they
Yeah, I
will
was
want
gonna
to
say.
play. And even a few that may surprise them with how fun it is when those leaders are handed the reins of power.
For us at Oxide, player feedback is the only way to really understand what you're making. It gives us that priceless perspective from the people we're making Ara for, you.
Building the game alongside real players has given us that critical player feedback. In the end, we believe this makes for a deeper connection between the players and the game.
One of my favorite examples is when we first introduced the concept of dangerous wildlife to the game. It turns out, in our first iteration,
Damn,
it was
I was
maybe
getting
a little
chased by
bit
like
too
13
aggressive or
fucking
disruptive.
lions.
We knew we should probably make a change when one of our insiders made a forum post that was just,
Cougars, cougars,
Cougars, I hate cougars!
"Someone get these feline demons away from me." I'm happy to report,
damn.
based on more recent feedback, that I think we ended up in a good place with the overall threat level of mountain lions to a player's citizenry.
It's been years of hard work to bring you a strategy experience like no other. And we're so excited that we can finally see the finish line. We can't wait for players to get
later
their
this
hands on the
year.
game later this year.
But the launch of Ara
Later
is
this
only the
year,
beginning.
okay. Nope.
We're going to maintain our insider program after the release date and continue to listen to players and support the game into the future.
Well, I mean, later this year
On
is
behalf
tomorrow.
of everyone at Oxide Games, thank you for joining us today. We can't wait for you to play
Later
Ara
this year is 5
and to
minutes
create
from
your
now.
own
Oh,
history.
this fall.
Oh, wow, that's
Fall.
farther. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, farther than I
Oh,
thought.
okay.
Fall. All
Yeah,
right.
that's further.
PC Game Pass, PC. All
That's
right.
surprising.
Yeah, I really wish they would
What's
get that out on console day and date.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? We got 14 minutes left, supposedly, if the timing was accurate on the
Like
prediction
50,
for
was
the
50
show.
minutes or whatever.
48 is what they said.
Oh, let's go, Indiana Jones. Let's
Hej
go,
och
guys.
välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine
See what they've been
Games.
cooking.
We are really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones.
He looks like Wolfenstein.
Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate
Indirectly,
adventure.
wow.
Even today, it's one of the most iconic franchises in pop culture. In this game, you aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones. You will see
So it
through
is.
his eyes and experience a journey that we hope lives up to the proud legacy of Indiana
See through
Jones.
his eyes?
When
Yeah, that's what I was
Todd
saying.
Howard first told us about his vision for the game, we knew we would be a very good fit to help bring it to life.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever. I'd had this idea for what it would be like and the story, what Indy was going after,
First
what
person.
period of his life
Yeah,
it was in,
I feel like it's
what
first
kind of
person.
Yeah.
arc he was going to
We'll
have.
see.
And
It
as
was-
the
no, it
years
was on
went
the
on,
TV.
I
They
thought,
showed it on
who
the
would be
TV.
like
Are
the
Indiana
best
Jones,
studio
right?
Oh,
in
they
the
did?
world
Okay.
to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, they
And
showed it on
was
the
my
TV.
friends
They-
at Machine
yeah.
Games.
Oh, I didn't see.
I can remember pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because, look, it's, Indiana Jones, and their response was just overwhelmingly positive, and just that excitement has bled through the whole project, and they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything that we want to do with the game. It's been a long time. I've been a fan of this my whole life, and I couldn't be more excited to show you what
Todd
the
said
team here has
both,
been up to.
Antonio said.
Let's take our first look
Both?
at the new Indiana Jones game.
I mean, it could.
I didn't hear both. I didn't hear both.
Let
They
me
said
tell
look
I
you,
think
at
maybe
eyes.
in the
you
past,
are
in a
missing
different interview or whatever.
Dr. Jones.
It's the Nazis!
While you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you.
Is that Harrison? It looks like him.
You're wondering if maybe you should have
Does that look like
built
Harrison to y'all?
yourself a life of meaning
Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see.
far.
Yeah.
instead of ending up here. Dead
Man,
and
those graphics.
forgotten
It
in
looks
the
good,
sense of
Yeah, we're talking on the lines of Wolfenstein for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely better.
Oh! It's kind of Harrison.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It looks close.
Dang, okay. I thought they were going to go for a completely different
First
face.
person here.
That's basically.
First person looks
Oh,
like
this
yeah.
looks sick. Oh my god.
listen to the voice.
Just different ways to
No, that's
interpret
not
the past.
Yeah, that's not
It's the right tone, but a little different.
Thousands of
Okay, they got
years of
Sony time.
humanity's thoughts and beliefs, scattered and buried, just waiting to be found.
You can't just run away from your problems.
Oh, they did third one. Yep.
Watch me.
Oh wait, that was third.
Yeah, it's third, like when he interacts with stuff.
Interact with stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Throughout history, mankind has built sites of
Yeah, that's definitely
great
not
spiritual
Harrison's voice.
significance.
Yeah.
If you were to draw a line through
pretty
these
good,
ancient
though.
sites around the globe,
Yeah, it's close.
The Great Circle
line
Theory.
circle.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a blend.
I've had run-ins with these guys before.
Hey, if the combat's good,
Trust me,
then tight, then
it ain't a walk in the park.
it'll work.
Okay.
The first person will work.
Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I could keep up?
I mean, I can't tell if that's actually
Patron of the fallen
the nose is a
angels.
little different or something. I don't know. It's like
Protector of the
so close.
Chirkulimani.
I can't tell. It sounds like
Is that
it.
Troy Baker?
It might be.
It's actually, I feel like it's Troy.
You have any idea how old that was?
Okay, in the Great Circle. You guys are right.
Yeah, it's definitely Wolf and Indy for sure.
Indiana Jones is such
Dang,
an
that looks like
iconic
Harrison
character,
Ford, straight
and he
up.
means so much to so many people.
All right. Nice.
Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years. He's a brilliant archaeologist,
Maybe I'll be wrong,
charismatic
but-
everyman.
We
He's
weren't
passionate and
sure
determined.
though, Kate. If
And
it was
for
gonna-
us,
if they were gonna
he's
do the
synonymous
Harrison Ford
with
face or a
adventure.
brand new, like.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new
Well, it feels
Indiana
like they tried to
Jones story
de-age
for a
Harrison
modern
Ford and
gaming
they like
audience.
kind of smushed his face.
Our
in
game
with,
is all
like,
about putting you in Indy's
sculpting
shoes,
it.
letting you see and feel what he
That
sees and
sounds like Troy
feels.
Baker, yeah. That's
For
probably
us
Troy.
at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting, and interactive world we've built. We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel like your own.
Whether it's cracking your whip, solving puzzles in ancient temples, or seeing your knuckles go bloody in a fistfight, all of these moments are much more intense in first person.
But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat and the whip, and so for things like
Like how you can
cutscenes
block.
and environmental traversal, we pull the camera
so when
back
you
for
climb
a
and stuff like
third-person
that.
view.
Yep. And interact with stuff. It
Indiana
stands out.
Jones and the Great Circle is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
So it's canon.
When our game begins, Indiana is working at Marshall College. He wakes up in the middle of the night to the sounds of a break-in and rushes to confront the thief in the college museum. The mysterious giant of a man makes off with what seems to be a historically insignificant
Is that the dude
artifact,
from Resident Evil
sparking
with, like,
Indiana's
chasing you around?
curiosity.
T-virus?
Following the trail, Indiana heads to the Vatican, hoping to learn why this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things aren't what they appear.
He starts pulling at the strings of a mystery, and it all unravels until he has no choice but to see it through to the end, whatever the end may be.
On next plane to Rome. Stop. Need
A
help.
different location,
Stop. Maybe in Vatican. Stop. Indy.
Rome, yeah.
Oh, it did
We
the
always
map
talk
thing
about
we were
how
talking
clever
about.
Indiana Jones is. That had to be one of our guiding principles when we were thinking about the type of game we were making. It wouldn't be Indy if he wasn't using his wits to get through the situation.
Yes.
The most authentic Indiana Jones experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Sure, there will be some obstacles that will be more easily overcome with the revolver or a gun taken from a disarmed guard. But I think most of the time you'll have more fun, and to be honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's trying a different path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage.
Boy.
Or using the tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's an amazing global adventure with action propelling you through the journey.
No, I've lost complete interest in this
We have
game.
these really diverse environments for you to explore.
Zero.
Indy's journey
It's
will
quality.
take him
It
to the
looks
forgotten
good.
temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt,
Because of the first person
the
stuff?
snow-peaked Himalayas,
No, it's just the
and
game
beyond.
in totality.
Oh,
We
that's
look
right. You
carefully
didn't
at
even
each
anyway
location
to begin
and
with.
the time
So it's
period
not
that
like-
it's
Indy's
set
cool.
in, and
Indy's
we're
cool.
trying to make it as
But I know you
authentic
weren't really
and
like
accurate as
through the roof
possible.
about it to
We
begin with.
love creating rich,
Yeah,
vibrant
but
worlds,
still.
and in this
I
game,
feel you.
we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
One of the biggest ways to do that is with the music. John Williams is the original composer for the Indy films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
We also take a very movie-like approach to things like cinematics. We're very physical with our production style. We use a lot of stunt actors. Things like this help us bridge the gap between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to life as well. Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting to the bottom of the core mystery.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
Fight. What do you mean if I can keep up?
We always love our villains and think we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both brilliant people, compelled by their passions and obsessions, but driven down wildly different roads.
He creeps up on you and gets under your skin like he gets under Indy's skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is adventure first. But in every indie adventure, there are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been one of those balancing acts for us, and we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
How you approach any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits, you got Indy's most iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purposed as possible.
Yes.
We want it integrated into every aspect of the game.
You can use it as a traversal tool to make your way around the environment. You can use it as a distraction. And yes, you can absolutely use it in combat.
Yeah, because I'm going to look
Everything
up at the
you'd
wall
expect
with
from
a
Indy's
big
whip.
ass whip.
And hopefully a little bit more.
Shout out to the AI.
Puzzles are a key feature in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path,
Even the way
but
whips out,
a lot
I
of
don't
puzzles
know.
are
I'm
optional
really
and
picky
are
when it
just
comes to
there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our
unreal.
game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret.
Gotta see it
The
again.
more you look, the more you'll discover.
Definitely should be there. It looks like it. It looks like Wolfenstein, but it's in.
Yeah, it does look a lot like it.
Oh,
God,
makes sense.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
That's definitely Troy
Machine
Baker.
Games is known for creating these roller coaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists, and immersive narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay so true to the Indiana Jones franchise and create such an authentic experience while still being able to showcase what makes us us. We are making a game for everyone, whether you are very familiar with the franchise or not. Because at the heart of Indiana Jones is an incredible adventure, and I think that's something everyone wants to be part of. I'm also very excited to announce that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year. And we cannot wait to share more soon.
Let's go!
Damn, their fall is...
Their fall is fast.
Got a lot to man.
Got a lot to
May till the end of the year is going to be fucking stacked.
What do you have for this first 6 months?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we haven't had anything since Forza, so it's gonna be like
Forza,
6 months or
Yeah.
7 months without a game. So
Unless there's some other stuff that...
I mean,
I'll-
Game
I
Pass
don't
is
know.
cooking, but
Yeah, no, I mean, there's that too. So,
Honestly, maybe I'm kind of
That's
glad
it,
about all
right?
the other games that are coming out. Yeah, it should be it, I think.
that's
Because
it, yeah.
wait, what's this?
What's this? What's this?
outro.
No, it's the outro.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
They got me with that. I was like, whoa, what?
Should I take one?
Is it animals, children, and game developers?
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech.
Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to rule. Stay happy!
Which, if Hellblade came out of this event without a date, people would have been
Creating
like,
an immersive experience like Avowed is
I'm
anchored
so
in the
glad
world we
that
built.
if there was one to get a date, that was the one that should have gotten.
You aren't just playing as indie, you are Indiana Jones.
I can't
My
wait to go
name
back
is
and watch
Masaru
it.
Oyamada. 今
Especially
作は
Avowed.
アクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。
Oh no, I walked away being really impressed by the game.
That bottom right square, like, still bothering me. Like,
yeah,
I know, right?
They should have put square down
Should
there.
have put something there, yeah.
Yeah.
this is like something there. Oh man. All right. Well.
All right.
Holy shit, guys. Let me bring us back over here. And that was the Dev Direct, Xbox Dev Direct. There was a 5th game. It was not a first party game. It was a Square Enix game. Visions of Mana made an appearance. That was interesting. That was crazy. We got one date, which was the rumored date of Hellblade 2 of May 21st. That ended up being true. We had Avowed announces this fall. Then we have Visions of Mana said summer, right? Ara said also fall, I believe, right?
Fall, yeah.
So that's 2 fall games, one of them only on PC. Then you got 2 summer games, Hellblade and is that start of summer or is that late spring technically still?
That's late spring.
May?
Summer doesn't
May
start till
21st. Yeah, that's late
summer
spring,
doesn't
right?
start till June 20th.
Yeah, so we get late spring, we get one for summer, then we have a couple fall games, and then we have a don't know for Indiana Jones right now, but this year.
Not sure.
But it is this year, so they stuck to the pattern. Now it's a pattern, right? It is a pattern now. Everything at the Dev Direct, expect that year, right? And I think
Unless if something gets delayed.
Unless something gets delayed, which I think the most likely one, if that were to have happened, would be Indiana Jones, because it's the only one we don't have a window for right now.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is we saw what Indiana Jones is, and it is a first-person game primarily. I mean, it's sequences where you will be moving out into third person, But I feel like that's the biggest surprise. I think a lot of us figured is going to be like more third person potentially, because it's an adventure game. But
I was always first person with third person segments. I've been saying that forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought how can they do that? But like they showed it. Personally, I think it fucking works. But for me, I'll be honest and say the most important thing I'll take away from what we saw from Indiana Jones is everything I hoped, like story type wise and keeping it authentic to the character.
That's important.
That was here.
You're not
100%.
just running around gunning everyone down.
Yeah, so it looked like typically like this is the kind of stuff that Indiana Jones does and goes through on one of his adventures, and you're going to be embodying that, right? Portraying Indiana Jones and going through this adventure, which is, man, it's gonna be fucking interesting, bro. The voice was revealed, the face was revealed. It looks Harrison Ford like
ish.
There's like a little bit of differences that you can kind of really spot out, but they even got the scar right here. I noticed that. So I think it's supposed to be that Indy, like Harrison Ford's Indy, obviously, but it is not like they're recreating a younger looking version of him. I feel like,
which is fine. You can do that.
100%. And it's not Harrison Ford's voice, but whoever they got, if that's Troy
Baker,
Baker,
I'm pretty sure it's Troy Baker.
Whoever
I'm like
80% did a pretty
sure
damn good job of kind of getting that voice down a little bit. I mean, it's not 100% spot on. But overall, like authentic to the character and what you're doing, and focus on story and puzzle solving and adventure and all that kind of stuff is like really what I wanted. And it looks like we're gonna be playing in an Indiana Jones movie, right? So I guess I'll start with Steel. Let's get the bad out of the way first, because I know you were sitting there being like, I've lost all interest in this game. Like, so let us know what you think about it, bro.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been so disconnected from Machine. The last time I played Wolfenstein has been a very long time. So maybe that's why I'm further disconnected from it. Or maybe it's just Indiana Jones overall. In comparison, what I was hoping for was for him to stand out, at least here, in a way that would be kind of comparable to how Lara Croft and Nathan Drake stands out for us right now, especially with him being the granddad of it all. Now, I don't know if it's not because it's full third person, whether that has an effect on that. I don't really think that it is, because even at first person, it's not pulling me in for some reason. And it could just be 100% a me thing. Again, it's going to be in Game Pass, so I'll have an opportunity to try it out to see if it does pull me in. Again, being German, I have many stories of Nazi stories or whatnot, fortunately, unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at that. Many stories from the German side of my family about a lot of things that happened during that time. So it's cool to see Machine Games kind of still working with their Nazi narratives, right? If there's one thing they are good at is making a Nazi killing game. So we'll see how that goes out. Again, I can't say that it's not quality. It looked top notch. It definitely looks, that's why I kept saying it definitely looks very Wolfen indie like. But again, that's what you should expect from that team. Definitely looks like they've grown. Looks like they're putting a lot of love into it. And again, as long as the story is good, it could be something that slips under the radar for me. Hellblade, again, is a standout for me just because it's the one that's most anticipated. The more that we got from it, it was literally the same things that we got from it. Ara was a bit long. I do think as far as the dev direct goes, it slowed it down a bit, but then again, you step back a bit and take it for what it is. Like I mentioned earlier in chat, it is a developer direct. This is the opportunity for these guys or for these people to talk about what they've been working on, to see their passion. And that's the one thing that I always that I took out of this dev direct once again, that carried over from last year, is you can see and hear the passion from the devs, right? Felt that way about Minecraft Legends too, but they're stopping support for that. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, man, I mean, everything else I wasn't expecting for the Mana game to come. I am anticipating for that to end up dropping in Game Pass. I feel like it doesn't really make any sense for you to bring it to a developer direct if you weren't planning to put it on Game Pass. And I saw some people talking about it in the chat. It probably is just they're going to wait to get as many pre-orders in as possible, or wait for people to buy the game before they announce it coming to Game Pass. So, and what was the last thing? Avowed. Avowed was definitely much better looking than it was before, right? When we saw it at the showcase. I don't know. I don't think that anybody can run with the narrative of, oh, this game doesn't look good enough for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't have realistic graphics enough for me. If that's what you were looking for, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe go play Skyrim, but this looks leagues better than even Skyrim did. And like I hinted at during the while it was being displayed, it does seem as though they have a better understanding of how to make a cohesive world that feels layered on top of each other and that you have an actual impact in, which does pull my interest a lot. That was the one thing that I took away from New Vegas that I was kind of expecting out of all these other Bethesda games. That's a me thing as somebody who doesn't play Bethesda games typically, because ESO even has some of that in there. But yeah, I mean, overall, Avowed's not necessarily for me either. It's definitely further down on the list for me. It's above indie, but I mean, you can't deny that quality. It looks better than ever. And yeah, overall, I think the direct was at least bare minimum a 7 out of 10 at bare minimum for sure. For me.
Yeah, and it is confirmed. It is Troy Baker.
Okay, yeah. I was listening. I'm like, that sounds exactly like him.
Okay, well, fair enough. Good points, Steele. It seemed like for just in general, like the some of these games weren't necessarily like Steel type games. You know what I mean? Like, so as in all, like you had Avowed, which we talked about before the show, that you weren't really excited for that one. Indiana Jones, you were kind of like, you know, and then now you see it and it was like, okay, I'm kind of out or whatever.
Yeah, I'm completely
Hellblade 2, like I feel like they kind of cemented that it is going to be just a bigger, grander version of the first game in kind of a way as well, which is not necessarily a bad thing, like, because the first game was great. And then Ara. So the Visions of Mana do anything for you?
Yeah, Visions of Mana, that was the one I spoke to. I think it's going to end up coming to Game Pass. I'm excited about that. It looks very interesting, again, up my alley for sure, with it being more action based, being a JRPG and everything. I'm definitely interested to see how people are going to at least react to that, since it has been an IP that's been away for a long time and nobody's really going to draw interest to it, which again, I find that really interesting, that Xbox made sure to be in partnership with Square Enix on this one, right? So that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah. Right on, man. All right, so let's get to PTK Blam.
Yes, sir.
What was your big thing for the show? I mean, like Indiana Jones, did that hit for you? Like, for first person Indiana Jones, are you looking forward to this game now more than you were before that you know what it is?
So yeah, I mean, the game showed great for one. I was a bit surprised. I'm not a liar, and I'm always 100% transparent. I was a bit surprised. I thought definitely there'd be more third person, there'd be more emphasis on third person, but it's fine. I mean, as long as the gameplay and combat is tight, I'm okay with first person. I think the biggest thing that I think we highlighted before the show as well too, Mav, or I think even pre-show when we were talking, was the authenticity of Indiana Jones. It has a long history. We thought maybe would they just abandon that? Would they go full Spideyverse, like, alternate universe type Indiana Jones, or would they stick to the timeline? And we found out that they stuck to the timeline, and it looks like they did a great job with it, and they seem real passionate about it as well too, which I like. So graphically, it looks great. Indiana Jones, yeah, definitely still on my radar. Obviously, it's going to be probably day one Game Pass, so I will get a chance to play it. I'm still excited for that. Once again, games like that, I don't necessarily know what I wanted, man. Like, if you would have asked me and handed me a pen and paper to write something down, you could come back half an hour later, I probably wouldn't have anything on the paper. You know what I mean? I just didn't know what I wanted out of an Indiana Jones game. And so this showed me something that I think I can get into. Ara, not necessarily my type of game, man. You already know. I know that's you and Pong. They did give it a lot of screen time, which appropriate for that kind of game. You do have to break it down and make sure everybody's aware of what it is and all the little cool aspects of it too. So that's a little lower on my list personally, just because I don't necessarily play grand strategy games. Avowed, hey, look, man. What did I say? I said it before the show. I think for me personally, I knew what Hellblade was going to be. I knew Hellblade was going to look phenomenal. We really didn't get a whole lot of new stuff from that. So I think Avowed personally, I still think it showed the best out of the three. Graphically, I think it definitely looked better. It was I don't know if I can give it a percentage, but it definitely was a upgrade over what we've seen previously. So graphically, it hits there. The combat looked great. Enemies look cool. The game actually might be bigger than I initially thought. Have we got any indication of how big this game actually is? Have they given Avowed as far as like how big is it? Like, I mean, it's an RPG, a 60-hour game. You guys think maybe?
Yeah, I think before they had hinted it was going to be like something like that.
I would probably say like 20, 30, closer to like
20,
Outer
30,
Worlds.
something smaller. Okay, something hour. Okay, no, that makes sense.
Oh,
So
bigger, but-
yeah, but I mean, I'm thrilled, and I'm a huge fan of Obsidian, like I said before. So yeah, I think the show, like you said, I mean, is a little bit of something for everybody. And then Visions of Mana as well too. That actually really surprised me. I thought it was a brand new Square game. I'm not gonna lie. Technically, this is a brand new Square game, but I thought it was like just a brand new IP, something left field that we hadn't heard of. But even seeing it on this stage is once again Xbox building relationships out there in the East, and they really have. This is another. Hey, look, we didn't lie when we said we're back cool with Square. This is another olive branch. Like, we're actually gonna be able to put you guys on our showcase. And actually feature you guys on the showcase. So that game looked great. You know what I mean? So it looked more action than RPG, which I'm a fan of. They showed a ton of combat. They didn't show a whole lot of like RPG aspects. It was pretty much all combat that we saw in like environmental stuff and enemies. So I'm fine with that. So overall, I would, if I had to throw a number out there, I'd probably get a show about like an 8.5, somewhere around that 9 even. Probably out for Avowed.
Yeah, right on, man. The chat is going crazy on you still. I didn't hear you say any of the games were trash. Just that like you weren't necessarily personally interested in some of them. It's like
I mean, again, I big up the game, and I still got.
It's so funny.
You're not a liar, though, man.
Personally, can't not like something.
Personally, not allowed to like personally like not be interested in something.
You can't do both. See, this is the problem that I found here recently is that people have a real problem with you being like in the middle. It's either you liked it or you didn't like it. You can't say, I thought it was good, but it's just not for me. It's just people. It's weird
because they want to know if you're a team player or an enemy.
Right.
And if you're in the middle, they don't know.
Right. They don't know where you at. Still,
I like to be more Deadpool.
You're either with us or you're against us, bro. It's a 10 out of 10 show, or you're out of here, man. You can't have an opinion. You got to go get a real job. Not
God damn it.
That was a great show, man. Great show.
What did I miss?
Crazy, bro.
Psycho.
What did I miss?
Did you miss the Dev Direct?
Did I miss something?
Is he echoing?
God.
I'm muted. He's in Discord.
Discord. What's up, Psycho? How's it going, man? Let's get
there. We go.
Yeah,
How about that?
Psycho. Did you catch it? Did you catch the show?
I was watching it, being pissed off. So
Oh, you didn't like Indy either?
No. The guy that was supposed to be at work at 1:00 showed up at 3.
Oh shit! Oh
no!
He's like, I didn't know I had to work today. I'm like,
he wanted to watch the direct.
Fuck! Did you not know you worked today, bro? Like, I'm like, whatever. So yeah, I was watching it on my little screen, so I got to go back and really watch it. But holy shit, Avowed looks amazing. Loved. I wasn't really too much. I didn't watch Hellblade 2 too much because I had customers. Square Enix being there, all I heard was the Mana series. I don't know what they showed.
They showed lots of Visions of Mana. They showed a lot of it. Yeah.
So it's Vision as okay.
It
wasn't like, hey, all the older Manas are coming to Xbox.
No, it's Visions.
But they said Visions of Mana is coming to Xbox summer this year.
Awesome. Okay. And then I caught Indy. Indy looks like fucking Harrison Ford and pretty kind of sounds like him. He's very close. So if they did like AI generated voice,
it's Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, yeah.
Oh, is it Troy Baker?
Yeah.
Okay,
he's everybody.
But it was a very close resemblance of Indiana Jones, and to me at parts it sounded like Indy, so I'm fine with it. It looks awesome. I like that it's single first person and third person view. It's not that you can't choose it, but there's instances where you can.
If you're climbing up a pipe,
reverse,
you're going down like a zip line, something like that. You're going to be
and cinematic cutscenes are going to be in third person, which is fine. I'm fine with that. We can't have everything that we all want, but to have that there, they know we were asking for it, and they gave us something that they're able to. But cinematic storytelling of Indiana Jones, it feels and kind of resembles of the movies, so I'm excited for that aspect right there. And being able to either going, punching, shooting, whipping my way around, or sneaking around is phenomenal, and it just looks stunning. It looks crazy how good that looks. And again, like I said, I'm gonna wait for the 4K live stream to rewatch the entire show and see what really to enjoy it, because I wasn't here for when it popped off. But yeah, what a great show. I'll have to rewatch for Hellblade 2 and Ara. What did they show of Ara, by the way?
They showed quite a bit.
A lot. Yeah.
A lot of that was probably the game that was shown the most, because it does talk over it. But
and
they just kind of talked about how it works and stuff.
Fall.
PC or
they didn't mention Xbox, although I did see an Xbox controller
PC Game Pass
next to one of the devs' computers. I don't know if they meant to show that on purpose or whatever, but like it's coming to PC and PC Game Pass fall of this year.
Okay. All right. So
apparently, I don't know if you guys saw this. My fault, Psycho, but apparently, people are saying that the price for Hellblade is going to be $40.
Yeah, it's digital only. I was seeing that in chat earlier. It's a digital only.
Cool.
And I was right on catching, because they said it was going to be a shorter experience.
So yeah. So you were right about that. Yeah, smaller game.
So it's 40 or 50, like $49.99.
$49.99.
Yeah. Also
$50 for
Yeah.
Hellblade 2. I wonder if some people will consider it AA because of that. You know what I mean? Like just because of the price.
Unless Xbox.
I think
Alan Wake was what, 50, right?
I think the length is going to determine it more than anything, right?
Right. That's a good comparison. Alan Wake 2 to this. Like
super high quality.
Yeah.
Super high quality. Though. You got to look at that too.
Yeah,
Alan Wake
nobody
Game of the Year
considers
nomination.
Alan Wake 2 a AA thing or anything like that. Like I just said, talking about like fanboy console war arguments and stuff like that. It's a $50 game. You can't beat AAA.
Look at your space game. It has a planet in the fucking sky. Fucking loser.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see that. That's shocking that it's $50. I mean, they could easily get away with charging $70 for that. Like, but hey, if that's the case, cool. I'm gonna play it on Game Pass anyway, so I don't give a shit.
Maybe we'll see more of those, more of that if they're going towards digital more, and Xbox does what PC does and gives you at a lower price point. That'd be nice.
Look at Steel.
Yeah,
I mean, it's true. Psycho's not wrong on that. I mean, a lot of the times brand new games come out $70. I can get it on PC for $49.99.
And not just that, like WB, they always can pay $10 less for WB games on PC, where they charge you $70 on console.
And the interesting thing with Alan Wake 2, like you said, like Alan Wake 2 is also digital only, right? Famously,
like,
and they got some criticism for that. Hellblade 2, I'm sure we'll probably get some from out there from people that are like, oh, physicals.
Well, that didn't last, man. Once the game came out,
right? Yeah,
people saw how good it was.
Yeah,
nobody.
They got voted for Game of the Year. So
yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, I honestly could care less. I'd play it digital anyway. But for those that
Yeah,
wanted
I'm
a
not getting up to
physical
put in
thing,
a fucking disc.
yeah, I bet there will be eventually like some kind of like that, or maybe there'll be like a limited edition that has like shit you can collect or put on your desk.
Yeah,
or
that'd be dope.
whatever,
Yeah,
you
that'd
know.
be super dope.
Well, Xbox did just partner with that. Like, it's not limited run games. It's like another like
I saw
indie
that.
like
I
publisher
saw that,
thing. So
yeah.
like that could be what they're gonna do with that.
I didn't see any PlayStation logos or Nintendo logos here at the show. Also, you know, I'm just saying.
So it's May 21st for Hellblade.
Yeah, the rumor was correct, May 21st. So nothing was
Hellblade
announced for sooner than that. So we got
Hellblade is the only fucking thing that actually got a date. Everything is
we got
seasonal year.
Yeah, so we got Hellblade 2 is May 21st. We got Visions of Mana is summer. We got Ara was fall, Avowed was fall, and then Indiana Jones was just 2024.
It was just 2024. So yeah.
So I already have seen polls.
Holiday is nuts.
Easy Allies already put a poll out on Twitter that's like, will Indiana Jones be delayed out of 2024? Yes or no? That's like that. It's like already a conversation out there that people are putting. I did find it interesting. It's the only one that didn't get a window, but like maybe they don't know if they're going to hit summer or fall or winter.
Or they just want to like maybe make it more of a surprise at E3, like with a closer date. Like,
yeah, potentially. There you go. But it is surprising we don't have any of these games that were up until May. I don't necessarily think it's a problem because there's so many damn games to play. There's Game Pass is still clicking really well, and I mean the second half of this year is gonna be fucking loaded, right? But Indiana Jones was like like I said before, the pattern is set now, right? Indiana Jones, first or third person, like, does that affect your excitement for the game at all, Jasper? Like, what do you think of Indy?
That's exactly what I was looking for. Indy. I was not expecting like anything else. Like in my mind, this is what Indiana Jones was. Like, it's a puzzle game. You're going to different locations, solving puzzles. You're getting chased by bad guys and trying to get out of those situations. You're punching them using your whip. You're not just blasting people with machine guns. Like, in my mind, this is what Indiana Jones was. So.
Right. Cool, man. They nailed the authenticity, man. Like, it really did.
Yeah.
Like that's like that is what I've said. We talked about it numerous times on shows. Like, the most important thing for me was going to be story, and like if they nail like what the character is. Like, I don't want it to be like an alternate version of the character where you're just like playing a Tomb Raider or Uncharted or something like that. I wanted this to be true to Indiana Jones and really what it means, and like this.
Because I feel like if they try to do that, it just wouldn't feel like indie, and then it would be like, okay, this is just like some knockoff game, whatever. Like,
I thought I had.
You mean Tom Holland couldn't have played Indy?
No.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. My bad.
I thought the graphics were great. I thought the gameplay looked fun. I thought that the like the dungeon sequences they kind of had, like the temple tombs and all that kind of stuff, like they seemed like pretty authentic to like what the Indiana Jones stories and stuff like that, and like. You see Nazis and punching and like trying to get around them, all these kind of things. It's like, this feels pretty damn authentic. I can't wait to see where the story goes. I mean, it started off in a typical Indiana Jones type sequence with him buried in sand with his head sticking above the sand, right?
Well, later in the game or in the direct, they said that the game starts off with he's in college and there's a break-in, and that's when you saw the.
Well, I'm talking about the trailer, yeah. But like the you know you're going to be in those crazy situations, right?
Yeah.
And that's so damn exciting. I do like Indiana Jones a lot. I actually enjoyed the new movie. I think that this is going to be like we're playing an Indiana Jones movie, which is 100% what I think they were going for here.
And it's an original story. It's not just them trying to copy a movie either. It's like its own Indiana Jones story.
Yeah, man. So there was a fifth game again. It was Visions of Mana. That was a huge fucking surprise. I did not expect Square Enix to be here. Like, if anything, I thought it could be like either there's no shadow drops, right? But if there's anything, I thought it could be like, that Double Fine thing that was rumored, or a new game announcement or anything like that. But instead, they chose a game that was already announced, right? But they're highlighting Square. Right, and they're really pushing this new relationship now with Square Enix with Visions of Mana, and showing how big of a game this is going to be for Square, and trying to really emphasize that this is an Xbox game as well, right?
So at an Xbox
the game looked great.
first party showcase that they showed Square. Like that is not where we've come with Square.
Dev Direct even. Like, I think that's even deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like having zero relationships with Square with Xbox, pretty much outside of Dragon Quest and some other little games here and there, but having one of the major RPGs that is under Square's umbrella. Vision, the Mana series is huge. The Vision, it was Legend of Mana, Secret of Mana, Secret of Mana, and Trials of Mana. Those three games are amazing. I hope that they come out with an Xbox version of those, like possibly like the trilogies. Like they kind of did that with they did Secrets of Mana and Trials of Mana for PS4. So I'm hoping maybe we'll get Legend of Mana on Xbox and have like a trilogy.
Kind of like what Final Fantasy did with their Pixel Edition or whatever the case, that the newer version that they brought everywhere.
Yeah, and then do that so this way Xbox fans can experience the Mana series whole. Start from the first and play the last. Everything's in Game Pass. Here you go. And sorry for being assholes for the last couple of years, but the Sony overlords are no longer have us in the pinch.
Yeah. Did they say I saw somebody in the chat or somebody mentioned that Hellblade 4K 30 did they say that during the direct?
No, they didn't say anything like
that.
I just figured it would be because of how it looks very visually impressive.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And I think it would be almost an expectation for that game. To be honest with you,
I still would want it to be
pushing. Me too.
I mean, I'm playing on PC anyway,
right?
It's all good.
Yeah, but I think that they're really pushing fidelity on visuals there. We'll see what they end up doing, but it's gorgeous, man. I'm actually a little surprised about how more in depth we got with Hellblade, because there was a lot of clips and
that's the one thing that I got more excited about the game is just when we saw the wider shots of the environment and the mountains. The game really just looks like you're literally in Iceland.
Yeah,
bro. Especially compared to the first game, I'm just I was looking at the second game where they were going through the sections and whatnot. It was especially in the combat, and I was reminiscing about those certain parts in the first game. And I was just bro, this is leagues better than what they did in the first game. Leagues, it's crazy.
Yeah. Those character models are insane too, bro. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, it's the best looking game on the market right now.
It's on the market. It's
whoa
when it's on the market.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we already know that PlayStation is considering that as the
it's a benchmark,
right?
Yeah, Insomniac at least is.
Yeah, at least Insomniac.
Yeah,
and Insomniac's the only one that makes games for PlayStation anymore. So I'm just saying, if your best studio saying this is the best benchmark.
What are you talking about? They just remastered The Last of Us, and it looks exactly the same.
That's more
hilarious.
Here's 11-minute extra fucking lost levels. Here you go. Thank you for, that's the $10 you spent is for the 11 minutes there.
Yeah.
So that could have been a fucking update. That's all I'm saying. A free update.
I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say though that now after this Dev Direct, there's no big first party games before May 21st, right? Because
that's kind of crazy.
That's kind of
I'm not it's not really necessarily a problem or anything, but I think a lot of us were expecting something maybe for February or March, whatever.
Mm-hmm. I really think Stalker was supposed to be that game.
Yeah.
We all knew that it was supposed to be Q1, and Xbox was still thinking about that. And then the other day when they
that's just weird that Xbox doubled down on that, because they got burned fucking in 2022 with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, okay, we got you this time.
But at least I will say this: at least this span gives me enough time to catch up on my fucking.
You hope so.
Well, there's still games coming out,
and then don't forget, there's still
I mean,
stuff
you're
coming
gonna
out.
put like 10,000 hours in Power World, Psycho. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's another thing.
Facts,
Power Word. Who
facts.
knows how in depth that game's going to be? And if, from what the hype is,
the Power World is
that game
rising the ranks right now on Steam.
That
It's
could
number
take
4.
over
Yeah, it's number 4 on
fucking,
Steam,
fucking gaming world as the next Pokemon. And here's
it's everything people have been asking for from Pokemon for a long time, without the guns. But yeah,
The only problem I have with Power World is just like the arc aspects to it, where you like build a house and shit. Like, it's like,
apparently it's not that well. I also just came from playing Lego Fortnite with my youngest, and I thought that was a really dope way if you're gonna add survival mechanics to make it very easy to understand and make it fun. I would be like just a front runner for her, and she would just be like my backpack or whatever. And I thought that was fun, and it seems like it's very similar to what Power World has going on also, especially with you involving the reason I get excited for this, because it's like now you have Pokemon that you don't have to just leave in a box. Like you're doing something with them, right? They're a part of this economy that you got, or whatever the case. It's just an interesting take.
Dude, I had a baby making factory in Pokemon. You put them in the breeding center, and then you just make those motherfuckers breed with the Ditto and try to.
That's true.
And
That
then
is
you
true.
trade
That is
those
a fact.
bitches.
That is a fact.
The thing that I'm liking with Power World, the thing I'm liking with Power World is definitely if there is like the survival mechanic.
You can adjust
the game. You can't having your Pokemon your pals with you to gather resource, and you encounter something, or they're a new pal that you don't have, and then this way you're doing more than just like, I'm gonna cut a tree down to gotta get some rocks, gotta get the fucking vines, I gotta do it. There's a whole different element that they add, if that's like part of that, which is different. And either I'll see how, if you don't have to focus on having a house, that you just focus on gathering pals. If that's the case, like it's an optional thing. That's cool, because then if you're not really into the whole building aspect, don't do it. Do what you're here for. Collect pals. Go catch them all. But if you do like that survival aspect, like I like survival, having that element on top of trying to catch new Pokemon, new pals. I'm gonna call it Pokemons forever. But if you're gonna catch new pals, that's a whole different take on that game. That it's you can't say, oh, it's just like Pokemon. No, it's not. It is not. The catching aspect, sure, but this whole other element that's part of the game, you don't have that.
Games have been taken away from each other from long enough. It's great to see Pocket Pair come out there, kind of go. I'm not saying that they're toe to toe with them, but it's cool to see even Xbox had some faith in it, right? Because that was the one thing that surprised me, right? This I don't know where you throw this game into Game Pass. Traybone 408 was brought up something that I saw also on Twitter when I was scrolling through. Apparently, Paul Tass and some of the other guys out there saying that Avowed looks terrible.
Really?
Yeah, they're saying that it does not look good.
Did
Animations were.
Did they like
Dude,
Outer Worlds?
he likes
Did they
getting
think
fucked
that-
in Destiny for 2 years anyway. So
Why does it like? A lot of like Outer Worlds was highly praised by critics, right? It was praised. It was like getting 9s and stuff, like from many outlets. It was like, oh, this game came out of nowhere from Obsidian. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And now we have a game. It's in a fantasy genre, but really like if you kind of compare like just what Outer Worlds looked like and what it was like when it came out compared to like what Avowed maybe looks like now and when it's coming out, like, yeah, it's not great. It's not like the most amazing looking thing ever, but neither was Outer Worlds at the time. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand why all of a sudden there's like a hate train for Avowed and Obsidian based on like a similar kind of principle game set in a fantasy genre. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense other than the fact that the only thing that's changed since then is that Xbox now owns Obsidian, right? Let's just get fucking real here. Okay, like,
what does anybody want out of this game anyway?
I don't know, man. It's like, what do they? I don't get it.
I don't even know.
There's some
Like,
additional news.
People,
too.
I think, wanted it to be like super realistic or whatever, just because that first trailer showed like a fucking arrow that looked super real flying through some fucking smoke. Like, and then people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be a fucking realistic game like Hellblade," and it's like, "Oh, but it's real colorful."
I
That's
think
not
that
how the
most
real
recent, what they just showed, was closer to the original.
man.
thing
That's
that
what
they
I
showed.
thought too.
Like,
I
let's
thought
talk,
the same thing.
Let's talk about Avowed for a second. I went into this being most excited to see Avowed.
Oh, by the way, Mav, that key art is fire.
Yeah, that key art.
By the way, that
Oh,
Avowed key
that-
art is fire.
I
They
am
need to make
buying
that
the-
a dynamic background, bro. For real.
I am buying it. I'm getting a fucking tattoo. I'm gonna get a fucking the steel book edition if they got a fucking physical copy. I'm buying all that fucking skeleton with that color. It fucking is amazing. I'm playing Pillars of Eternity. These people that are upset that Avowed is too colorful, you have not played anything from the Pillars of Eternity
Like how
universe.
Psycho just started the other day. He's like,
I swear to God, I
did
just
start the other
started. I don't give a fuck. But that game is gorgeous. It's vibrant. And if you're not liking Avowed, then you don't know what that universe entails. Then you have no say in saying this game does not look good. Then just get off social media and stick to what you do.
Yeah, that is
playing
fucking sick. I
games.
need that in a poster, bro. Like, seriously.
They have like a full body one. I think Clobero posted it.
I'm gonna put that on my back.
Oh, and apparently, by the way, too, from Andy Robinson from VGC, take it as a grain of salt. Hellblade 2 will be digital only release, costing $50 and similar in length to the first Hellblade.
Okay.
Cool. 10-hour, 12-hour.
I was hoping.
I was hoping to be a little bit bigger than that.
I was hoping double at least.
Wasn't
that's
the
kind
first
of
one like 8 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was.
finished it
Yeah,
in-
right around
Well,
there.
for me, it took like 10, but I had some troubles with some of the puzzles. I finished it in one sitting all the way through in one stream,
Yeah.
actually, on the channel. I sat there.
I remember you did that, didn't you?
and I played all the way through the whole damn game because I got that immersed into it. But you know what? It was a memorable fucking experience for me, and I kind of appreciated it for what it was. So I think the price is right for what they're asking for. I think that's one of the most important things to look at it. Like, they're not, for a shorter experience, they're going in with the, expectation about, this is going to be also a lesser price thing. But I was personally hoping that it was going to be maybe a little bit in the grander scale, like kind of bringing Hellblade out a little bit more to become something more than that. But that maybe it doesn't work for what their creative vision is because of how much they put into everything in this game. You know what I mean? So,
and it could be just as long as the first game, but have more compacted in it, right?
Yeah.
There's more to do, more to see, more interaction.
There might be.
I can see them doing that. That would be a good way to do a second game if you did that. I mean, that's the way, at least from when they were talking about it, that's what I took away from it, that it's going to be more dense. Then there's going to be more memorable moments than the first game had. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of down on that, but it is what it is.
So I put a poll in the chat for the grades. Xbox Dev Direct, 51% said A, 43% said B, 4% said C, 1% said D. Hello to the ponies in the chat, the 1% over that are watching this stream. Appreciate you guys. And let's see who else. We also have another poll. I'm waiting for the results to tabulate on that. I asked the chat which was the best showing. And I think Indiana Jones 53%, Avowed 30%, and Hellblade 2 16%. So for me, like, I just want to get into Avowed a little bit. Like, damn what other people say. It's annoying, but it doesn't affect me and my enjoyment of this game, right?
The problem is that's all you're going to fucking hear up to this game's launch, though.
It may affect the game, right? That's the bad part. That's why I hate fucking media and the trains that these people always, they pick and choose what to all of a sudden gang up on and what not to. When this is like, they could have said everything they're trying to say about this game now about Outer Worlds, but it didn't get any of that. Didn't get any of that, right? But now all of a sudden this game is, right? Because it's marketed and hyped up and associated with Xbox, right? So anyway, this game looks, for me personally, way more exciting than Outer Worlds, personally. Like this is more up my alley. Like they're going into the conversations, the consequences of decisions. They're talking about showing the dialogue with the characters, the facial animations I think were really good as well. You had they focus on the combat where you're going to have dual casting. You're also going to have be
quick swapping between like loadouts,
between loadouts,
sword and wand,
again,
guns.
Reminds me a little bit of Oblivion with this kind of stuff. Like I was doing a lot more of that kind of combat in those scenarios in Oblivion, right? And the way that those scenarios portray, like on the screen with the combat and stuff, looks kind of like that. And the way they show the effects with the enemies, how things affect the environment, and all these different things. I'm looking at this being like, yeah, this game's like fucking made for me, bro. You know what I mean? And like, I am super pumped, and everything that they showed just doubled down my excitement for Avowed, and that's my, like, that's probably my most anticipated game of the year now, just bar none. Over maybe anything else. I had to really think about it because there's a lot of great games coming out this year, but if you really forced me to pick something right now, I think I would say Avowed. And the Indiana Jones is getting up there now for me. Like it's up there because what they showed, I'm super stoked for that. But like Avowed is like my type of fucking game, bro. Like it really is. Like but like Avowed, I don't think any of us were really disappointed. Even Steel, like the chat was giving you shit earlier. You said it actually looked better than you thought it was going to look and stuff like that. Like
still wasn't like in the combat or because the enemies weren't moving, but
right.
It was just weird. But again, that probably just the way that they showed it and stuff like that. Again, it seemed very like they were trying to explain, hey, these are systems. We want you to pay attention to these things. It looked very purposeful. But again, I'm also just not the Bethesda dude. So it's like I have such a disconnection when it comes to those things. Since it doesn't have co-op, there's also like man, it would be dope to hop in with a buddy, especially seeing what we got from it now. Could you have imagined if they would have kept co-op in and you and a buddy are fucking dual wielding wands and fucking that would have been
4 fucking wands.
That would have been fucking insanity. That's probably why they took it out, honestly.
Broke some shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, I don't get what people are so. But that's the thing that's so weird to me about all of this. It's like even Xbox centric channels, they get down on certain games or whatever, and I imagine they're probably going to do the same thing about Hellblade now that we know the time of it. There's no in between, and that's kind of what I was speaking to earlier. Like it feels like people are having a hard time being subjective without also being objective, right?
I don't know who said Hellblade was 8 hours, but if Hellblade came out and said that themselves, they just killed their fucking, they shot themselves in the fucking foot.
That was Andy.
Was Andy Robinson. I don't know. That's why I said take it with a grain of salt. It's weird that it's weird. Like Paul mentioned in the DMs just a few minutes ago, it was like it's just weird that it took them that long, but it was just. And like I told him, I wrote him back, so I was like, maybe it's just the detail and it's more condensed and there's a lot more that you could do within the game, which I would be happy with that if that's the case. But like Mav brought up, I did want it to be kind of, because I felt like the first one was kind of short when I played through it. I was like, oh damn, I'm at the end already. I wanted some more. So it's just, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
People put out times and then I always end up putting double the time in to beat these games.
And we're getting it this fall. So again, like release schedule wise, May 21st. Then we have 2 fall games with Ara and Avowed, and then we have Indiana Jones, and then also from third
Call
party you have Visions of Mana. Yeah, then you have Call of Duty in November. And then go ahead.
Flight Sim
Stalker 2.
Yeah.
Stalker 2.
Stalker 2, like again, September 5th. So like, man, from May to the end of the year is gonna be fucking stacked. So you have May 21st. And then whenever the fall games end up launching, so I'm gonna guess like maybe like early October to November sometime for those ones, right? And then you're gonna have Call of Duty. So maybe actually more or less, it's actually like when does summer end? When does summer end? Is like what? It's in early September, right?
August, September,
early September, I think. I'm so bad with seasons and knowing the dates.
Well, the 21st is when this fall season technically starts.
Of September, right?
September 21st. Yeah.
Okay, so summer technically is before summer 21st. So from September 21st until Call of Duty drops, in mid-November, you're talking about a couple big games dropping in a short time span.
Oh yeah.
If you consider Ara a big game, it's a strategy game. But so is this meet, like, if this is what they got this year, right, for big games, which Flight Sim, we don't know exactly when that's coming yet, but
well, I mean, it's literally called 24, so if it doesn't hit 24, that's gonna be awkward.
then they're gonna have to change the name.
Yeah.
Is this qualify, you think, for the 4 big games a year? If this is it?
Let's see. It was Hellblade, Indie, Call of Duty, Flight Sim, Avowed. Is that? I guess they wouldn't count Call of Duty. So,
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but they were talking about that before ABK was a thing. So, I mean, but maybe like now they're just going to use that as like,
I think it's good. I think it's definitely good for first party for sure. The only thing that's kind of a worry for me as an Xbox fan more so, I think this is going to be, if they don't have anything that's more impressive than that in Indie, unless Indie just really rocks everybody's socks off when it releases, I feel like we're going to be in another year where people talk about, oh, well, what are the big games that Xbox, that speaks for Xbox? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's going to happen again, because if to be honest, and again, Indie could be that, and Avowed could be that as well. Outer Worlds, as I've heard, was a good game, so that could carry over. But it's not what people typically look at for those real big titles, right? I personally think that it's fine, but I'm also more so in line with the whole third party thing. If these are the games that are coming from the first party side of things, just off of last year, there is literally no telling like what this year is going to fall like for just Game Pass in itself. Between those games, right? What deals are going to get cut? I think that's what makes this even more exciting for me. Although all the games work for me, it's like, oh wow, okay, you got these ready. What else do you have possibly ready, or conversations that you've had? So
yeah, and don't forget, like, Replace is possibly dropping this year.
I think they pushed it back. I think they pushed
Silk
it back.
Song will be a big release when that
Silk Song.
Yeah, Silk Song. Yeah.
But I mean, there's more too. I mean, like, it's hard to like actually think. I need to go through and actually like try and make a list. I know somebody put out a thing about 50 known, like, or 40.
Yeah, I think there's like
Game Pass.
Idlesoft like put up an image of like 50 games up or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
So there's, I guess the chat earlier said Tom Warren had said that he expects Visions of Mana to be on Game Pass day one.
I would assume so. I think they probably just, because they don't have a date, they probably just didn't say Game Pass, whatever.
Well, the other reason would be like when I was thinking about it after that, I thought like if it was Game Pass, why would they announce it as Dev Direct at first? But then I'm thinking, okay, it's Square Enix, so maybe Square Enix asked them not to, so that way they can get more pre-orders. Try and get as many pre-orders as they can up until launch. Or as close to launch. And then their chat reminded me of Outriders. They didn't announce that until like 2 weeks beforehand, and that was also Square, right? So it's possible it's Game Pass, dude. Like, I remember Outriders, like, Square actually like had praised that as far as them being able to
and then they said it was a disappointment.
But then they fucked over People Can
double back
Fly.
Well, they also didn't support People Can Fly. You can tell that People Can Fly weren't supported by Square versus them not having a good product, because they had something there and people were playing it for a while. But then the support dropped, and then you heard everything from Square Enix, and
Okay, so I'm reading this. Idle Sloth had shared this. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is a digital-only release for $49.99 and will also be on Xbox Game Pass. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 will be a game crafted from the heart, a game similar in length to the first Hellblade, with a focused narrative and sold digitally at a price of $49.99. And you can once again expect to join Senua in understanding her world through perception puzzles led by her experiences of psychosis from brutal and visceral combat. Okay. So it's just a better looking Hellblade 1 in some essences, right? But is that like enough for you guys? Like, Jasper, is that enough for you? Like,
I mean,
what'd you expect though? Like, I'm just curious.
Out of Hellblade?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I figured that's what it was going to be. Like, I just got more excited just because it looks so good.
Yeah.
Like the wider shot environments, but like still, like, I just don't know if I want to play Hellblade just because I don't know. But it's Hellblade. I don't know. I didn't care for the
You
first
didn't like
one.
the first
So
one too much?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would get into the second one.
What about you, PTK? Did you like the first game?
So I only played a little bit of it. I didn't finish the first
Okay.
game, admittedly. So yeah, but I mean, it looked interesting enough. The length is a bit, I don't want to say strange. I think it's just natural, Mav, that we expected the game to be bigger, right? You got a brand new mocap studio built, brand new location. You've done all this hiring. So I think it was right in line for us to expect it to be like a larger experience. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed because the quality is still there. I think quality wise, you can't knock the game. It's easily, you can just look at it. It's going to be a leap over the previous one. So that's enough to get me in. You know, obviously it'll be Game Pass as well too, so I'll play it there. But once again, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations.
Right.
I'm definitely going to get in and play the game. So I'm in on it. Like, I don't have any issues with it. The length, like I said, I didn't finish the first one, so I didn't really know how long the original Hellblade was. So I don't really have a great point of reference for that. But if there's enough to do in that period of time, like if it still feels like a completed experience, because one thing we got to remember, one thing I haven't heard anybody complain about is the length of the first one. Nobody, from the information that I got,
nobody did.
Nobody said the length was an issue. So
it's also
no, you're good.
A very like when you're playing this
It's a
game.
lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's a fucking lot to take in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's just not a gripe I heard about it, though.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody mention the length of Hellblade 1 being a problem. So if that comes up now, then I don't know what you guys have a problem with.
I mean, PTK, I mean, for $20 more, you get 2 extra hours in Spider-Man. Just saying.
I mean,
maybe that's better.
Is that like is it Spider-Man like a 10 hour?
Spider-Man's about 10 to 15 hours long.
Okay.
Well,
both games.
I just don't look at that as a negative when we can't say that. Nobody said that about the first one. So it's hard to throw that on the second one, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say, oh, that's a problem. Like, no, well, that other one got a lot of critical praise from a lot of critical people, and none of them ever mentioned that the length was a problem.
Yeah. I think because Hellblade is so much closer to quality to like God of War, I think that's what's going to end up happening as far as ammunition goes for people. Y'all waited all this time, y'all spent all this money for this studio.
I don't have an agenda to protect. So I'm
right, exactly. Neither do I, which is like, it really doesn't matter to me. It's just, for me, I'm slightly disappointed by that because I wanted more.
Yeah.
But again, especially because they said, and I caught it when they said it. That threw me off. They specifically said, "Hey, it's going to be a shorter narrative experience."
Yeah,
but then they also made it seem like, again, there's going to be more to do within it. So it's like I'm not going to run with people's times because, again, go back to Spider-Man. People say that's a 10 to 15 hour experience. It took me 30 hours. But that's on the hardest difficulty. I don't know if this next one is going to have difficulty levels. I don't remember the first one really did it all. I don't remember the difficulty. I remember I was too obsessed with all the noises and everything. That was more so what I was more concerned about. But if the second one has the same thing, has different options or whatnot, I could see an easy to normal playthrough maybe taking that long. But then if you bump the difficulty up, it could probably take an additional few hours or so. Again, it's just hard to judge. People said the same thing about Halo. It's just so many different games that you could just run down the list. People say, "Oh man, this game is real short," and then I've played it personally. And it's like, well, it's taken me double the time. I'm not terrible at games, so I don't. Something's off there, so I don't know. I think it looks like a good game. So
if this game is packed in with a lot of action and a lot of gameplay, that 8 hours, it could be longer on the way you play the game. If you just play like Jasper and you get through it as quickly.
Well, see, the thing is, like, when I say Halo Infinite's short, but I also realize that I'm not the average player. So when I say the average time for Halo is going to be like 8 hours, even though I beat it in fucking like 3 or whatever, like I take that into account. Whereas like then someone hears me say that and be like, see, Halo's only fucking 3 hours.
There's a website called howlongtobeat.com where you can like put in the game and it's like adds basically all these different submissions up from all the different.
Yeah, it has like
businesses and
100% completion, like
yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly. So like Halo Infinite it says 11.5 for the main game. Spider-Man Miles Morales said 7.5, right?
Sounds about right.
That was 50 hours. Spider-Man 2 says 17 and a half, or 17 hours, and then plus extra content 22 and a half. Hellblade 1 was 7.5 for the main, and then it said
So it's longer.
I mean, they said the same. They said about the same length. I think that Andy Robinson said 8 hours because he's just saying it's about 8 hours, which is about the length of the first game. So like completionist for Hellblade, the original one said 9 hours. Main story said 7.5. Main plus extra says 8. So we're expecting it to be somewhere around there. Like I personally, just my personal preference, I don't necessarily mind when games have shorter lengths because it actually allows me to maybe beat more games. However, like just in the grand scope of things, like when I was always thinking about Hellblade 2, and this is maybe a fault of mine, right? Whenever I was thinking of Hellblade 2, how many years they've been talking about this game and marketing.
They spent 18 fucking years building a fucking mocap room.
At the Game Awards, all these different things. Just in my mind, they have pushed us to a grander scale, right? And in fact, I think in one of the first trailers, they actually kind of talked about that this game was going to be bigger than the first as well. So that was always kind of in my head, and I think it kind of changed my perception of things. So in a way, I'm like, my expectations were different, I think, than what the reality is now. But does that mean I'm not going to enjoy this game and have a blast? And it's going to be amazing?
How long is Alan Wake?
Alan Wake is like, I looked that up too. It was Alan Wake 2 is like 17 hours, bro.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to get a reference because I mean, again, you're talking similar price
18 hours
quality
for main story, and then main plus extra 24.5. So for the price point there, you would say, okay, well, like Alan Wake 2, like definitely wins versus with the value, but like per hour. But then you look at Miles Morales, right? It's literally like the same as like, you know, Hellblade 2. So like,
I mean, wasn't Ratchet and Clank like $70 and that game's like 8 hours?
You
like,
can't really put, can't really put a price on how long a game takes to beat. It's more about the quality and what they're presenting to you as a finished product. And overall, from what I've seen, this looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I mean, at least they are.
It's a really good point, actually, Jasper.
With that.
Damn. That Ratchet and Clank reference is actually a really good sticking point because that's a really high quality game too. Even on PC, like that,
hours for Rift Apart.
That game on PC is pretty damn demanding. I'm not gonna lie, and it definitely looks like a Pixar game. So it's like, I mean, $70 for that versus $50 for this. It's like, I mean, again, you got to find what's valuable to you. I mean, personally, I would have liked for it to be longer, but I don't think that makes it.
I mean, it depends on like if they can wrap up the story and tell you that, and the pacing's fine. Like if it's not if it doesn't feel rushed, or if it doesn't feel like too slow, then like, I mean, 8 hours is 8 hours, and you got your enjoyment out of it. Like that's what it matters.
Exactly.
So like Outer Worlds said like 13.5 hours, right?
And you can speed run that game in 15 minutes.
Yeah, but
I think Avowed's gonna be
main
like
plus extra, which means like, you know, you're exploring, doing random other shit, all that kind of stuff. They're saying 26.5 hours for Outer Worlds. So I think this is Avowed probably a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be at least 40 to 60.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
Everything, with everything maybe being close to that 60 to 80 mark, possibly for Avowed.
And then we have nothing to base Indiana Jones on. I'm gonna look up the length of Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I would. Like, it's pretty much Wolfenstein-ish. So like, I would say Indy is probably going to take a little longer, just because the puzzles.
Stuff,
Wolfenstein, the New Order says 11.5 hours for main story.
That sounds about right.
Plus extra was 15.5 hours, right?
That sounds.
I mean, those are like my. I like games like this size. You know what I mean? Personally,
that's what it should be. Yeah, good story, good gameplay.
So
I would have just assumed Indy's going to take longer because you're going to get stuck in that one puzzle that you're like, what the fuck do I do?
PTK, you got to head out, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out, fellas.
Let's get you out of here, man. Thanks for hanging out with us with the stream, with the co-stream.
Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of this.
Do you have
man.
any
It's fun.
lasting thing to say about the show and tell everybody where they can find you?
I appreciate it, man. I had a ball first and foremost, man. Appreciate you for being the gracious host that you always are. My cousin Mav, all the FSP love. Shout out to chat. You guys are amazing. Keep watching Mav. He's the best in the business. So, you guys know what you're gonna get from him. But thank you. Show wise, I'm just excited, brother. I mean, I'm pretty indifferent. Like, I'm excited for everything that they've shown. Whether I'm gonna actually play it or not, it's just good to see the positive momentum. They're going in the right direction. We're not always gonna get what we want when we want. I guess that's the key thing. But ultimately, I'm still excited about the way things are going. So I'm happy regarding the showcase. But yeah, I'm good, man. And you guys enjoy the rest of the show. Please continue to stay here and watch Mav. Do your thing. You guys, not FSP, but a PM and a PM episode 100 tonight, right?
Yeah. So just in 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
2
man.
hours. Episode 100 of PM and the PM is going to be right here, everybody. Yeah.
Special, man. Congrats. I want to say that before I head out too, brother. I will be in chat. I'll pop in and make sure I show myself. But congrats, bro. Hard work, man. Appreciate you. And here's to another 100 shows.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks, PTK. Thanks for joining us, man. It's,
right,
it's
man. No
great
problem,
to have
fellas.
you
Good
here.
to see you, man.
All right.
We're gonna kind of wrap things up here because I do want to take a break before tonight's show as
Nice.
well. But 3-bit, here's the thing. Like, we were talking about all these game lengths and stuff because like Hellblade 2 kind of brought it up, right? With this, it's just interesting. Personally, I don't necessarily give a shit. I will say it was a little bit of surprise, or not necessarily my expectation of what Hellblade 2 was going to be. Overall, does it impact my enjoyment? No, not whatsoever. And looking at it's fun to look at the lengths of all these other games just for comparison purposes. Like, they're so all over the fucking place, man. Let's just be like, like it really has no like. I think game length honestly has no metric for like enjoyment. Like
the
overall,
only time I
it's
look
just, like,
at
per game, like the experience.
The only
that you're
time I
getting,
look
you
it
know?
up is if like I know something's about to come out, or like I'm just trying to base like I'm playing like multiple games at the same time. Like, can I get this one in like real quick? That's the only time I look up like game length.
Yeah, and you beat games way faster than anybody I know. Like, just to be honest, like, it's like the second day Halo Infinite came out, you're already like running through it in a few hours, and it's like insane. Like, I was still like a quarter of the way through the fucking game. Like, where do I go? And like Jasper's like, I don't know, just run past all the enemies. I'm like, I don't want to run past the enemies. I want to fight the enemies. That's what they're there for, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody plays games differently.
Yeah, I will say this real quick. IGN just put out an hour ago. They put out a post of showing Indiana Jones, and these cocksuckers literally downgraded the fucking picture. There was an airplane coming where the 50 cal he was shooting at the enemy airplane. It literally is down. It's IGN's picture is blurred, different color format, and it just looks like fucking like from the 360. And then because I was like, this can't be true. So I grabbed a screenshot from what's his name? Is it Shinobi? And I put it just side by side, and I'm like, holy fuck, it's totally fucking doctored. They fucking made it look like shit.
I think they probably got a screen grab when it was like in motion or something.
Yeah.
That's
I think that probably just a shitty job of doing their job, which
I don't think they edited it.
It's IGN, guys.
It's a lot of work.
You're really you're defending Jasper.
IGN doesn't know how to edit the fucking like Xbox logo and stuff. You want them to edit it fucking blurry?
No,
that's a whole fucking process.
What I think we're saying, Psycho, is that it's incompetency, right, and not sabotage, right? Like, that's what IGN is incompetent. Like, I don't think they're like purposely going out of their way to like try and make an image look worse. It's just that they didn't even care what it looked like. They just grabbed whatever in any manner that they had and put it up, right? Like, because they suck at their jobs. And that's ultimately what it is. And you're going to see way better content put out there from the community who actually cares. You know what I mean? Than somebody like IGN. I didn't see it. I'm looking on their Twitter feed. Maybe they already erased it.
You guys scroll. It's like they have like 30 fucking tweets ahead of it.
Okay. But
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we already know IGN their stance on things, right? Like the way they always make mistakes and then they have to like either reverse it later or just let it happen. And it's usually on the Xbox side. So, it is what it is. I already know IGN's game. But in terms of the length, I'm just jumping in because I had to jump away quickly for work. But some people are saying it's like a similar length to the first Hellblade. To me, that it's fine. The first Hellblade I thought was a pretty decent length, and also they are very much upping the quality of the game this time around.
Right.
I'm surprised it's not like freaking shorter. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe that was just how I was always looking at it. Like they're taking that first game and they are upping the quality so substantially. It's one of the best looking games I've ever seen. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I was expecting. I don't think I was expecting like 20 something hours. But it's fine for me. I don't really care for Hellblade's sake. I'm excited to jump in her story and figure out what the heck is going on this time around. I was like asking Steele or someone earlier. I was like, is this a prequel? Just based on how the first one kind of ended and how you find out a little bit about her trauma in the village that she was at and her lover dying and all the different
Well,
stuff.
I mean, I thought they said that it's like she's learned how to deal with her issues a lot more.
Which I figured out.
Yeah, almost like using it as an ability or something, as strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is dope. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they expanded it from the first one. Again, I didn't have much complaints about the first one. It's pretty much what most people say about the first Hellblade was like, oh, the combat was just kind of repetitive. But like for me, that was it wasn't like too bad for me. Like I was just so invested with the story and what was going on, especially by the end where you learn like you can't really win. Like it's all about sort of acceptance. And the way they handled that, like that, just imagine like what they did there in terms of the story, because I was so invested even with that combat, but times like 5 times 10 is pretty much what I want out of Hellblade. Well, instead of making Hellblade something what it's not, which I feel like a lot of people are sort of wanting, they want Hellblade to be like a God of War or something like that. That's not really what I want. I want sort of that smaller, intimate sort of story that they did in the first one that made it special. I don't really want them to take it in a direction of that is just like every other game. I think Hellblade is kind of special on its own, with what it's attempting to do with Psychosis and her story. So.
I heard the game's trash because it's 8 hours, so I don't know what you're hearing.
That's what you heard. But I'm just jumping into the conversation. I'm sure I missed a lot.
No, I mean none of us really said that. Like I think for me, like it says, Jasper said is kind of what he expected.
Yeah.
Still, I think you're a little bit with me. You're more surprised than anything. You don't necessarily see a problem, right? At all. Like, I don't know. Like Psycho on the length. Were you surprised that it's the same length as the first game, or is it there's the same concept kind of? Oh, or is that more of what you expected?
I mean, if you like I was saying, if it's packed more than the first one,
right,
and the pacing is a lot more, and it's more sooner, you get more out of the game in a shorter time, in the same time frame, and the game feels like there's more that it's offering than what you got from like the first game. The first game, it was a lot of walking around, trying to solve puzzles and things like that. If there's a good medium of puzzles versus combat, that right there is a win to me. That now this game is more on the combative side versus the puzzle solving side of the game. And the first game was like the whole Psychosis and her coming to
I feel like this game is more just them like focusing on overall like visual quality, sound quality, and like trying to get you into the character itself. Like that's kind of their purpose.
This might
of this
be
game.
the most immersive like third-person action game we've ever played. You know,
and then maybe the third game is where they kind of go all out. That's when they make it sell a full experience. At this point,
maybe this is going to be the template just always for the franchise. So maybe like they just keep improving the quality and stuff, but keep telling these stories going on at roughly around that same length.
Okay.
It could be. The first game I think was not a full price game either, if I remember right.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
So maybe that's their vision for this game, and maybe their other project or whatever other projects they do might be different.
Right.
It's interesting. I think it looked fucking incredible. I'm actually surprised at some of the stuff we got to see, because we saw a lot more of the gameplay than I expected. The new stuff that wasn't necessarily part of that trailer, right? There was more of the actual combat that was shown, and some of the sequences. There was more about the story and what's going on revealed. Like giants are like taking over this world or something like that, and like they're basically going and fighting against giants. We saw the one before, but knowing that there's like, okay, that's not just one thing. Like this is going to be a core part of the story. That's really interesting to me as well. They didn't go into who that second guy character is too much. I don't remember. Did they? Like, because that was a core part of the gameplay trailer we saw at the Game Awards, the secondary character that we saw a lot of. But yeah, man, we joked about they were going to talk about the music and stuff last time. They ended up showing more about that as well.
Sounded really good too.
Yeah, and it did. So I'm impressed with that. My best showing for me was Avowed, just because that game is made for me. It's a personal preference thing, right? I loved what I saw. I don't get the issues that people have with that game, but maybe it's just not for them. I think is what I'm starting to realize is that for some reason games media in general seems to have moved on past this kind of formula game, since because that's the same problems they had with Starfield. Now there's complaining about this game. I don't know. Maybe they just don't like open style.
If someone else comes out and makes their own, then they'll be fine. Like I think it's maybe just like because the same studios have done the same type of game that they don't like it. I don't know.
But those are the pros at it. I don't fucking understand. Like, don't you want the people that have like master crafted the genre to make what they're good at? This reminds me of like when people complain about Far Cry, right? Or like, okay, it's just another.
Because like no one like,
but that's what they invented the fucking genre. Like
they didn't complain about like Cyberpunk like that. The problem with Cyberpunk was the bugs, but like Cyberpunk is kind of that same formula. But they're fine with that.
It's a new studio, right? And they take it on. I get that. Like
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, man. I don't get studios that or reviewers that punish a studio for being who they are, like kind of like with Bethesda, like this is just a Bethesda game. Like, Starfield is a Bethesda.
What do you want them to do?
What you 100%, bro. Like
I get what you're saying.
It's like
we gotta move forward.
Bethesda and Obsidian are like two of the forefather type creators of these genres, right? Of the Western RPG. Like, and it's just weird when we see all of a sudden those kind of games that look better than they have before, are doing more things, all these different things than they have before, but kind of still rooted in the same kind of gameplay and all that kind of stuff. All of a sudden, we're over this all of a sudden. You know what I mean? But we've still been playing Skyrim for 10 fucking years, and buying it on every system that we have and own because it's one of the greatest games of all time, and they always still praise that. But then when a new thing comes out that's taking similar concepts and ideas based on the same original creators that created these, pretty much turned these genres into what they are and made them popular for games like Cyberpunk to exist, now all of a sudden, like, those aren't cool anymore, or like you can't be excited for that anymore.
It needs more quick time events.
It's like, just don't fucking get it, man. Like, not every game has to be the same.
I've had this sort of thing where I notice different genres being more popular in the media than others. That's why I was really surprised that Baldur's Gate 3, had the the praise.
I don't
it
even
did.
know if the Avowed thing's a genre issue though. I think people just like for some reason don't like the fucking way it looks because they don't like colors.
No, it's just it's an art
They
style
just don't
thing.
like colors.
Yeah.
It's literally an art style thing because you can't. The
Right.
game
is, yeah.
isn't ugly. It doesn't look like Minecraft.
Well, why didn't they have that problem with Outer Worlds? Because it had the same kind of style.
Because it's a completely different game. I don't know. It's a more fan. I don't know.
Because
This is
people
a
were
fantasy
going in
game
with the
too.
expectations back then. People
Yeah,
were
I
going in
guess
with
so. I guess
expectations
so.
for Avowed.
But you get what I'm saying, though. Still, it's like, why wasn't that a problem then? You know why?
I don't.
Because they weren't really watching a lot of trailers and getting excited about it before it launched. They just came out and they played it, and it was like, oh wow, this is actually a really.
I think
great game.
again, it looks fantastic this time around. Like I thought it looked good in the first time they showed it, but now I think it looks even better. Like they did something with the lighting, they did something with like some of the textures and stuff like that. Like
I'm
like
pretty sure it has like a
now.
day-night cycle in it, so like the lighting's going to change. Like
Maybe people expected for it to be fucking Skyrim Novus or something. I don't know. That's like a 10-year ass mod.
I
But
think,
like what?
I think because it's okay. So it's first person, and you're like, you know, you have a shield, you have a sword. You know what I mean? And like they're trying to do that whole like parry combat system type gameplay.
Yeah, it's Skyrim. Yeah,
so they're
very
gonna,
simple. Yeah.
In general, usually those kind of games, they kind of keep the enemies in front of you so you can read and react and all that kind of stuff. And you may have some kind of like, you know, slowly like rotate around you, like slowly to try and like hit the side of you and rotate. You know what I mean? But it's so you can turn, and it's just those style of games, being in first person with that style of combat. But they're not making it like a fast paced action type game. It's more meant to be more like rooted a little bit to where you're like feel like you're fundamentally that character in this semi fantastical like realistic world or whatever, you know. And it's like it seems like they kind of, for me, we've seen this so many times before, and it's kind of like a staple for the genre. And like all of a sudden now it's a problem. I don't know. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Maybe they don't like the kick animation, seeing his boot like stick out straight and push the guy back.
I mean, again, like if I had to pick something out, I mean, I would say the combat is just a little too plain for me.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm also I feel like I just have to keep reiterating. I'm not the Bethesda dude though, so it's like that is very similar from what I have seen and experienced to Skyrim's combat. Even if you go play it today, it's very similar to what we saw here, and they all work underneath the same publisher. Well, now it's Xbox, so it's different. But it's just it's really weird that everything has to be something that's hyper realistic. God of War isn't even like fucking realistic. That's still fantasy based. There's a lot of fantasy elements. Why does this doesn't have to be God of War either? I don't know. It definitely is weird. Like, why does this have to be judged now on art style? That's what makes it bad.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be interesting. Indiana Jones also, again, like I think it look great. I think it's authentic to the character.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get to talk about Indiana Jones.
Yeah, so real quick, let us. I gotta get to the super chat real quick. 3-bit because I've been putting it off.
Okay, go ahead.
Lord Ruff just hit us earlier with the £5 super chat. Says that was awesome. My top 3 in order: number 1, Avowed; number 2, Indiana Jones; number 3, Hellblade; number 4, Ara; number 5, Visions of Mana. Whole show 9 out of 10, solid. So real quick, thoughts on Indiana Jones, and just give me a quick score for the whole show.
Whole show, I thought was, if we're doing numbers, 10 out of 10. I liked it. I thought the flow was cool. I thought even if it's not for you, Ara and stuff like that, it was cool showing. For Indiana Jones, it's a little bit disappointed, not gonna lie, for just seeing I don't know. I really was expecting it to be third, but in terms of like him being indie, I thought did pretty well. Like that, he looks like indie. He did a lot of indie things. I like how he wasn't overly using guns and stuff. That's something I talked about in my show. Like he uses his fist a lot. He uses the whip. He uses different creative things, and all that was shown in the trailer. So like in terms of like it being an Indiana Jones game, they pretty much nailed that front. I think I was just expecting more third or something like that instead of having just moments. Because I explained this on my show where I was saying, like, I wonder if they're going to do the Halo route where it's mostly first, but if he's climbing a ladder, it's third, or if he's shooting in a turret, it's third, or which they did. They went for that route. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch the trailer a few more times. Overall, I thought it was still an amazing showing. The graphics for the face for Indy, like it's weird. It looks exactly like him, but it also sometimes doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, that was his face was weird. Like I don't know.
The
Yeah,
face
it looks
is weird,
good.
but I feel like it works
Yeah,
because
it
of where they're
works.
putting it, and the voice isn't so jarring to the point. Like, of course, you guys called out Troy Baker like way early.
Yeah.
But even the voice itself doesn't stand out enough where I'm like, oh man, they should have just got Harrison Ford if they were just going to do this.
No, he does a great
I didn't
job.
get those feelings. So
Yeah, with Troy, I knew it was Troy Baker right away because I've heard him in so many different things, but he does a very good, like, he's a great voice actor, but he does a great job at like mimicking some of Harrison Ford's sort of like voice quirks, and it wasn't like too much where I'm like they need Harrison Ford or too bad where it's like nah, it was just like it's indie. It's like okay, cool. So which is good if you are hitting that front where you're like I can accept who this is, who's jumping into Indiana Jones skin. So yeah, for me, I mean, again, I don't know what I was expecting for indie. I think maybe I was expecting that third, but I think the more I kind of get used to the so what their version of Indiana Jones is, I'll probably just get used to this the first person aspects that they're going for. I think the more I look at the trailer, the more I'm like, okay, I kind of like their vision of it. Is I don't know. I think it just had to click with me because I think I was expecting it one way, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so this is how they're kind of taking it. So that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. But overall, great show, 10 out of 10 either way for me. I especially for a dev direct where they did their job. They had the devs in there talk about their games, talk about their vision. I was wondering about Ara and where they were going for that game and a little more details on that game because I normally don't play those type of games. So I was like, okay, what are they going to do there? Hellblade 2, again, my most anticipated game. Every time I see it, I just get more excited for it. Of course, Indiana Jones was dope. And then Square Enix, what the heck? What the heck were they doing here?
That's crazy.
I don't know. That was crazy.
Telling you,
and that game looks dope.
Has to be an early Game Pass play. In my eyes, at least.
I think so too. I think maybe they'll announce that later. Maybe they get those pre-orders in. They'll be like Game Pass. So we'll see. That game actually intrigued me. I've never played any of the other iterations. That's why I was kind of asking you guys about it. I'm like, okay, it was kind of like Final Fantasy base in the beginning. You guys are saying, but it seems like its own thing. I don't need to appreciate the other games to play this one. So yeah, overall, great show. Absolutely was hyped this entire show. Getting to see Indy on the screen, the how he's using the whip is how I thought they should use the whip. It was pretty dang cool. Yeah, they had the sections where he's jumping on the airplane, things like that. All this stuff I like. So overall, great show. I liked it.
Right on, man.
Yeah, I'm seeing people that it's that because Indiana Jones was not third person, that's only first person. That it's a major disappointment, and
yeah, it's gonna take some like even me. I was like, oh, like it's gonna take some.
But I get it. As they said that they wanted you to be Indiana Jones, and that's where they had a hard time with the animations and everything, and this was an easier way to get away from showing those animations to get the game out sooner than later. That could be why they went that creative choice in that aspect. If you want that third person, it's going to be a year or so before it comes
I think
out.
it's just based off how they build their game worlds and environments. Like
1000
building puzzles in first person for them makes more sense because like if it was in third person, you're gonna like Indy's gonna be standing in front of so much shit for them. So like I think it's just the way
exactly, and that's where you got to look at it. Is you got to look past that. It's not your Uncharted, Tomb Raider. This is a whole different game. This is more of your puzzle like archaeologist. Sorry, I can't say
archaeologist. I got you. We got you. We got you.
I know. So that I think that's where they kind of like Jasper mentioned, like if you're in third person and you're blocking the puzzle, that's going to piss you off, and you're going to be in first person mode anyways. They gave you the option. I was hoping like an option for some things, but I mean, we'll see how they utilize that third person view versus they don't. You know, because they said, you know, for certain transversal and doing the whole cutscenes
like
and things like that.
Like Jasper said, yeah.
If it's like, you know, a PlayStation game where it's heavy cutscene, you might see Indiana Jones more third person.
Yeah, right on, man. What was your score for the show?
9.5.
9.5. Wow. A 9.5 and a 10. Okay.
Yeah, because Avowed showed awesomely.
Avowed was freaking surprising.
That that put it up the most. Seeing the Indiana Jones and being able to, I mean, it looks great. Really well detailed character models. Really, the environment looks insane. And it screams Indiana Jones. And guess what, folks? If they can do that, that right there is a W in itself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of games, you can be like, man, this doesn't feel like what I'm playing. This screamed Indiana Jones, and just gonna wait. And that's what really, those two games put it over. Just having Square there, having Vision and Mana, that was a bonus. Ara, I don't have a PC strong enough to run it, so I'm excited for it, but I won't be able to play it. And then the Hellblade 2 always looks fucking amazing. Getting that it's only 8 hours,
we'll see.
I don't think it could be longer. That's just someone's like, I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Well, they said on
they said it too.
They said on their description the same length as the first game, so that's where the 8 hours.
About the same length, but about the same length is also 10 hours is about the same.
It's average about
give
8.
or take, yeah.
Average 8. It took me 10, but like the average, like there's data, like the average gamer, like about 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it is what I mean. It is what
it's a $50 game. It's a $50 game.
So, yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
No,
it's not it's not disappointing.
You said 9.5, right? And still, you said like a 7, right?
Yeah, I think I'll move it up to about. I'll move it up to about a 7.5.
Don't let the chat pressure 7.5, you, man.
I'm about a 7.5 for sure.
Okay.
So kind of sitting back and thinking about it. As many things that were here that may have not been for me, again, since I'm not ignorant and I can see things that are of value and I can be very objective when I see things. Yeah, I think 7.5. I think a 7.5 would be a good score to give it. Some of the pacing was a little bit off for me, but again, it's just a personal thing and just treating it in its own space. Because not everything spoke to me, and it was just like, I don't know, we'll see. I think that's why I'm kind of down on it. Not because it was bad, but just more so this what I
personal preference.
Cool. And Jasper, what about you?
Yeah, it's probably about like I'm like in between a 7.5 and an 8, just because I don't give a fuck about Square Enix. So that whole like that whole segment.
I thought it looked
like,
dope. That the reason why I gave it a 10 was like a lot of the things I didn't expect to be like amazing ended up being amazing. Like Avowed, I was excited for Avowed, but seeing it again here, it hyped me up even more. And then seeing Square Enix, like that surprised me too. I don't know.
Yeah, like the only thing Square Enix can show me that I'll care about is Dragon Quest Builders 3 or Forspoken 2, and I'm not getting Forspoken 2. So like, anytime Square Enix shows up, I'm just like, I'm out. Like I don't give a fuck what you have. And then like Hellblade, like it's kind of the same shit we already got, just more of it again. So like that was kind of like a slower part for me. But other than that, like Avowed, it got me a little more hyped for Avowed. Like I wasn't like super hyped for it, but like I'll play a game or two to see how it plays out. So that's why it's like 7.5 to 8 to me.
Okay. I'm gonna sit at
or Ara. I don't know. Did I say Avowed? I said,
Yeah,
I
you
missed
said
the
Avowed.
R.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna sit at a 8.5.
Okay.
I think I would be at a 9, but like part of me just like with the, I think maybe something in the back of my mind, like with the lack of dates. We only got the one date for Hellblade.
It is a
2.
bit weird.
We only
It
got
is
the
a bit
one
weird.
date for Hellblade 2,
It is a
and
bit
then
weird.
some of the other ones were further away than I expect. Well, I
Fall,
expected
yeah.
Avowed to be
crazy.
around then, and Indiana Jones had no clue, right?
Mhm.
But Ara I was expecting a little bit sooner, and so like just seeing everything for this is probably May or after, right? Unless Indiana Jones just fucking really surprises us, and like I don't think that's gonna happen now. But it's probably I think Indiana Jones will be summer to fall sometime at some point. But I'm probably sitting at 8.5.
More I think about, I'm gonna say 8.
With
I changed my
no, don't let me influence you, 3-bit.
No, this is hearing everybody's.
Yeah, no, I was super impressed by Avowed. I was actually like Indiana Jones. Seeing it like sold me on it, right? Even more. I like it really did. Like I was kind of surprised about the first person, but not crazy surprised. I was just interested if they did it first, how were they going to do it, and how they did it looked great to me. So I'm definitely stoked for that. I love what they showed for Ara. I thought they presenting that game really well for people that are really interested in it. I do want to play it. I was hoping maybe they would mention the Xbox version maybe later this year, but seeing that the game doesn't drop until fall, that kind of now takes that out of the equation, I think. And then Visions of Mana I thought looked great. It's cool seeing Square actually show up at a thing like this. Like, so I will be playing that probably day one as well. And that's another game for this year that I'm excited about. So, man, overall, I think they did a great job. I would like to see more dates, but it turns out that most of the stuff is second half of the year, not first. So that's where it's kind of like, I would like to have like an earlier surprise, but at the end of the day, that's where I'm sitting with it. But yeah, man, overall great show, and I love doing this stuff. I love having the co-streams with you guys, watching it, hanging out, having fun, and I hope you all in the chat enjoyed it. Everybody in an hour and a little over an hour and a half, Pong, Soul, and I go live for episode 100 of PM in the PM. So yeah. I know Pong chimed in earlier, said he loved what he saw for Indiana Jones. Other than that, I don't know how he felt about anything. So it's gonna be very interesting to see his takes, and we're gonna have a big discussion tonight on episode 100 of PM in the PM. So come hang out with us tonight and at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But let's get everybody out of here. 3-bit, where can everybody find you?
Everyone can find me on Twitter at i3bit. Great show, y'all. It was fun.
Right on, bro. Appreciate you. Psycho, what about you, man?
Yeah, thank you for coming out tonight. Sorry I was a little bit late, but couldn't help it. You can find me on social media everywhere. You can find me Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays on this channel, 10 o'clock for FSP, Fun Pop, and Xbox Ultimate. Love to see you guys. See you tonight on PM to PM. And let's see what Mab and Pong has to say.
Yeah, right on, bro. Thank you, sir. Steel Rain, what about you, sir?
Well, you beautiful people could find me. I Steel Rain I, that T is a 7 everywhere. Probably Google's the easiest, if you'd like to. And if you're real nasty, you can follow me on X, and we can get into DMs and do some favorable things there. Other than that, DMs are always open. Hit me up. And thanks for having me on. This was awesome. Got a lot of things. Got a little bit of more of a roadmap. But man, I am so excited for everything else that's about to release towards the end of this year, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Second half is fucking loaded, bro. And insane, especially fall holidays. Like it's gonna be nuts. Yeah. Jasper, thanks for being here as always. Where can people find you, sir?
Yo, check it out, Lord Jasper, Twitter, Lord Master Jasper, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, right here, 10 o'clock on the Fun Speculation Network for FSP, Fun Pop, and Xbox Ultimate. I'm sure we'll talk about this again on Friday or some of it. Maybe some more news comes out. We'll see. And that's where I'm at. That's what I do. Check it out. Have fun.
Right on, man. Yeah, this will be a big discussion also Friday night, Xbox Ultimate Podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have a blast hanging out, talking Dev Direct and what we've learned, roadmap, all the stuff, right? But we'll see you soon here on PM in the PM in an hour and a half, and I hope y'all have a great break. If you are planning to come back, I hope you do. If not, that's cool, but I appreciate the time you spent with us on this stream today. And if you did like the content, hit the like button, share it out, sub, notification bell, all that kind of cool stuff. It greatly helps us grow. Have a good one, everybody. Chat. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.